crown to a king, babe. Checking your reaction when I sing to you. I see it fills you with joy. Moments like this are what we live for. The perfect combination and we're still strong. You help me fade out the noise, yeah. Listen, cause through all the ups and downs, if you're around, I just smile, knowing it'll be alright, yeah. You bring my soul to light. I couldn't imagine life without you, hey. Paradise has to feel like this. Paradise has to feel like this. I wouldn't know cause I've never been, but paradise has to feel like this, yeah. Paradise has to feel like this. Paradise has to feel like this. I wouldn't know cause I've never been. Paradise has to feel like this. Paradise has to feel like this. Paradise has to feel like this. I wouldn't know cause I've never been. Paradise has to feel like this.
God bless with breath in these lungs. Life too short to play it on speed run. Only get one, no option to rerun. Where Babylon goes, who high to reach some, down to earth, stay grinding when storms come. Rat race, only one to run from. Better say cheese, but saying split in the funds. Living in the moment, I ain't worried about none. I'm straight chillin', back against the wall, too acquainted with the feeling. Like I lost the mark, find a way if I'm willing. Only fear God, not spreading this lost children. Price on my head, exported a few trillion. Suicide missions, whatever I'm feeling. I'm built different, cruise with no ceiling. Sun shining on me, boy, I'm indifferent. Go! Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on, come on, come on, let's go. I don't know what comes next, but I couldn't care less. I refuse to feel stressed. There's no fear in my chest. Hear the boom of my steps. Walk away from the pain I've been through. This feeling I'm feeling is brand new. This is the moment I break through. I ain't really with it back forth. You can keep the hustle, homie. I can't bear it all. Bull-headed in the market like you asked for. Then I saw you move the target like a matador. Come on, I'm ready to go get it like a Labrador. Dog days done and I'm tired of the tug of war. Broke off the leash and I ain't going back no more. I've been better ever after like Barrymore. Hold up, let me reset. Living in the matrix, used to sequence. I cracked the code, popped out the subnet. Walk around like I found a 20, that's a dubstep. Living in the moment, did you notice that ain't up yet? You can put the pressure on me, I ain't dropping one sweat. Used to be stressed hard, beating like a drum set. Breathe, stretch, let it go. Everybody need a refresh, go! Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on, come on, come on, let's go. I don't know what comes next, but I couldn't care less. I refuse to feel stressed. There's no fear in my chest. Hear the boom of my steps. Walk away from the pain I've been through. This feeling I'm feeling is brand new. This is the moment I break through. I don't know what comes next, but I couldn't care less. I refuse to feel stressed. There's no fear in my chest. Hear the boom of my steps. Walk away from the pain I've been through. This feeling I'm feeling is brand new. This is the moment I break through.
Welcome to the Play vs. the Native Upgrade Arena, sponsored by Lenovo Legion.
That's right, we're doing it again, but this time we're inviting competitors to bring their best Rocket League trio. The great thing about this tournament is that the further you get, the more prizes you win. That's right, if you get to quarters, you get guaranteed gear to take home. Semis, you get that plus more. Our finalists, yes, even more prizes. And the winning team gets all that plus the grand prize, a Legion Tower. And yes, that's for each player on the team. We're excited to see what you got.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Play vs. Upgrade Arena brought to you by Lenovo. We're going to be featuring the best Rocket League talent from high schools across America. So I'm excited to get into today with my buddy Bass. I'm pointing out the right side. There we go.
I know it's a little difficult occasionally here, but I'm excited for this morning. Like you said, we've got some of the best talent in all of high school Rocket League, and I'm hoping our audience at home is going to be a bit familiar with some of these names as well. These are not just high school talents that have done well at a local level, but some of these guys have even done well in the professional and bubble scene. So I'm hoping we've got a great day of competition ahead of us.
Ooh, yeah, and well, what is everyone fighting for? We gave you a teaser video, but just to reiterate, this is brought to you by our amazing sponsor of Lenovo. So check them out. Every victory. Oh, they gave us like such a powerful speech, and I really want to read this one. Every victory born of defeat, moments that test your resolve, but you push on relentlessly, always moving. I got a theater background, by the way. This goes crazy. Always moving forward because the game only ends if you let it. That's the power of Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible. But yeah, our winners are going to be receiving 3 Lenovo PC towers. I'm so excited. These are some beefy units, and your Rocket League is going to pop off with this.
Oh yeah, and the good thing is, even for the players that are not able to win this entire thing, they're not going home empty-handed. Even the players that are not here today, as this tournament has actually been running offline, not on stream here, are still going to be able to get themselves some Lenovo mice, as well as our semifinalists grabbing themselves some keyboards here. But if just making it to the grands, look at those Lenovo Legion monitors. My goodness, I would love to snag one of those myself. But like we said, the grand prize are going to be those PCs on the very right. So no matter what, just for making it in to our bracket here today, you are guaranteed you're taking at least something home. And speaking of which, look at our bracket overall. We're only going to be seeing our semifinalists. Like I said, we do have a couple of other series that have been played offline, not here on stream. So shout out to our teams that have been able to make the top 8. But now we are down to the top 4. And I believe we are starting on the right side here with Galactic Final Gambit, awesome team name, versus XPERE. And XPERE is probably going to perk a couple people's ears here, because you're going to look at that and go, you mean like the coach? Yeah, like the coach. XPERE's players are actually playing in this tournament here. Remember I said you recognize some players? Well, Revere and KOFYR are 2 players I think a lot of our audience is going to be familiar with. Make sure to pay attention to Enzo and their opponents in Galactic Final Gambit, and XSYNC, CORGI, and COOP. Lemon, this should be a great start to our day.
Absolutely. Like you've already talked about Reveal and being part of Snowman, and a unconfirmed signing to Space Station Gaming, like one of the youngest, most successful, bubble to pro, path to pro, if you will. Like, it's so cool to see how Reveal has grown as a player, and to have KOFYR, who he himself has some really interesting tryouts in the pro scene. Excited to see where he lands. But they're going up against CORGI, XSYNC, and COOP, where XSYNC was telling us that they won a state championship, him and COOP. So I think still some tough competition, but XPERE is definitely going to be the team to beat.
It is definitely going to be, at least in my opinion, the favorites for this entire tournament, just with the professional experience that they have behind them. But again, I've watched a lot of high school championships, some championships from players at a amateur level, and they get competitive, and there are a lot of hidden gems within the scene. A lot of these guys go on to go and play in collegiate levels of Rocket League, and really they get discovered from high school events like this, from state championships and the latter. So I'm hoping to see this team step up. Every once in a while you'll come into series like this and go, yeah, I've gotten expected results. And then these high school kids, man, they show you something special. The talent that is hidden here at a high school level is genuinely unbelievable.
And we'll be jumping into our first game soon, but if you don't know what this is, of course, we give you a teaser video, but it's PlayVS and NASIF who have worked together to challenge amateur players from the ages of 13 to 18, middle school, high school, players across the country to be part of Upgrade Arena, to challenge themselves in Rocket League, and for Lenovo Legion to come in and supply them with equipment is so amazing, because I know at that age, your parents don't probably totally believe in the esports career, your journey, or even if you don't take it super seriously at that point, your equipment is not something you really upgrade till you get like adult money. But Lenovo stepped in, and we got keyboards, mice, and the PC towers is the big prize everyone is looking for. So put !upgrade to learn more about Upgrade Arena. And of course, a shout out to our co-streamers who are helping support the show today. I know, say hello to Garrett G and Nikki Justine and other co-streamers who could be joining us. But for now, we're just waiting for our players to get into the lobby. And I heard we got a interesting substitute, Bass.
Well, we'll bring it back up. You guys can read it while we announce it here. So if you didn't already think that XPERE were the favorites coming into this one, well, here's Reveal's teammate in Frosty, another member of this Snowman roster who is potentially being signed to that Space Station Gaming roster, as we mentioned earlier today. So now you've got 2/3 of Snowman and KOFYR, another professional level player. I wish the best of luck to Galactic Final Gambit here. Again, I do not think that they are just going to get absolutely stomped, but I do think that they are coming into this the underdogs now, having to truly step up to the test that is XPERE and the team underneath it. I'm wondering if XPERE is also helping coach these guys at the same time here. I'd have to imagine with 2/3 of the roster being his players.
That, or these are just the 3 biggest XPERE fans ever. So I hope he's watching and he's proud. We'll get into this very soon, y'all, but these schools have a lot of experience. They've gone through qualifiers to get to this point. We only have 4 schools remaining, and they range from just all over the place. I know BJHS comes from Alabama. We got Galactic coming from California, Minions coming from different parts. We got Texas, Florida, New York, and XPERE, who Texas, New York, Arizona, different places. So all over the US.
Look, you said California at least once in there. I'm going to be rooting for whatever the California team is. I just guaranteed a little part of me. Yeah, a little bit of me has to represent for the West Coast. We already, unfortunately, have most, I'd say, professional and high-level Rocket League players being somewhere in either Texas or the East Coast. So I got to rep the West just a little bit here today. But truly, I do think that all of our teams deserve a massive shout-out, especially for a lot of these teams, which, as we've mentioned before, have competed in high school state championships. These guys are truly making sure the high school ecosystem in esports is thriving and succeeding. A lot of these players really are sort of the backbone for the entirety of this scene, the entirety of high school and scholastic esports. So shout out to all of them. Shout out to the different players we have participating here today. Again, these players have had to grind to get here. This is not the first round of this competition. They have had to qualify for these semifinals. And speaking of which, I think the semifinals are just about ready to go. We've got Galactic on the left, XPERE on the right in orange. And like I said, pay attention. We're going to see how competitive this is going to be. If XPERE come out the gates firing, good luck stopping them.
How is XPERE's chemistry going to look off the bat? These are three extremely mechanical players. First, it's Frosty getting set up by his own team. The third man rushing, bulldozing for the final tap. You got a trifecta of offense from XPERE, but no goal.
So far, it's been a relatively quiet start. I'm not expecting it to stay this way for all too long, but I do like to see the little bit of fight back out of Galactic here. And they stop KOFYR, though. High in the sky, trying to go for 50 in front of net, but easily turned away by XSYNC. The offense, though, keeps on flowing. So far, through the first minute, I'll be real, Lemon, I'm pretty impressed by Galactic. They do not seem to be backing down from any challenges. They do not look uncomfortable against the speed and the mechanics of XPERE.
Yeah, XPERE really trying to utilize that backboard in the last couple of offenses. Finally, Galactic get to see some offense, but as they were trying to go for an infield pass in the box, that gets denied. And I think Galactic have to be a bit more proactive on their defense when it does come to that backboard. XPERE are a mechanical team that will go for those double taps. They may try to waterfall down, and it just comes down to Reveal sailing it across.
All right, there's the first goal, and honestly, a clever one at that. You can see Frosty coming off the sidewall. Fakes like he's got another touch, but as soon as XPERE takes over, multiple defenders in net, doesn't matter for him. Slices it by, and the first goal found here, and again, not surprising. We're expecting XPERE to come out the gates really being the heavy favorites in this series, but Galactic, I do have to continue mentioning, do not seem to have any sort of trouble resisting the offense being built out at midfield right now. All they need is one good goal, and that'll get them right back into it. Maybe, I was going to say it could start here. A demo out at midfield, though. We're actually going to force them right back into defense, and COOP's got a lot of work to do out of this corner.
I like that COOP brought the ball up, just buying as much time as possible, getting a pass. XPERE, though, haven't let them escape from this blue half. It continues to be that midfield control. CORGI with a good touch just to sail it away. Galactic have to fight for a good 50 out of COOP, and that got dangerously close to the net, and he's alone in the corner. Some boost to work with. XSYNC's trying to keep the rally going. Galactic built up good pressure there.
I will say, you mentioned something earlier that I think is definitely a point to watch right now. XPERE, despite the fact that, oh my goodness, they're going for goals like this, they do look a little bit uncoordinated. With the last-second sub, they might not have been practicing as this trio for all too long, so I have to imagine that this team's going to have to take a second to find some chemistry, find rotations. They haven't exactly full double committed on some of these plays, but it has gotten scarily close, as there's no way this goes in. They're almost freestyling at this point, Lemon. That was a triple pre-jump.
Yeah, this is Galactic. No, they gotta get ahead of this because XPERE still have the lead, and the demos. So much physicality, almost the double, not the fake. There's no second man there. Is this an open net? It is, and we're tied.
You gotta be a little bit more careful than that, XPERE. I know you guys want to stunt a little bit, but you can stunt if you can guarantee the win and guarantee the lead. One goal up and quickly erased as we've got 2 minutes to go, and Galactic find the tie.
This is maybe a more even matchup than we thought, and this is a best of 7. We got a lot of Rocket League, and it's a kickoff goal for Galactic.
Oh boy, XPERE, you might be shaking your heads right now going, uh-oh, did we just open a can of worms that we have no idea how to close? I might be thinking, yes, 2 goals in less than 5 seconds from Galactic, and now they are the ones in the lead.
Yikes, XPERE maybe came into this match a little too confident. CORGI now can receive, has first man forward, COOP on the chase, playing cooperatively too. Chasing Frosty around. XPERE still looking comfortable. KOFYR having to adjust in the midfield to be able to back pass this. Wasn't able to draw Galactic too far away from their net until Reveal has them on the chase.
I like this. Good defense being displayed right now by Galactic. They are not shying away from challenges, just constantly challenging players off the backboard or in front of net. And I know XPERE are trying to develop some plays, but they're just not being given the time. That's kind of how you have to play against a team like XPERE. When you know your opponents are hyper-mechanical and very quick to the ball, you need to make sure you are meeting them for these challenges. Don't give them the extra space that they're absolutely looking for. And XSYNC doing a great job at that. The jump out at midfield plus the extra touches has now forced XPERE into yet another defense.
Oh, Frosty? Oh, misses the... Well, at least he gets it to KOFYR, and Reveal steals the corner boost, so this is an important play for XPERE to find the tie, and as Frosty went for the big home run, Galactic find the clear. And Galactic have been trying to 50 everything. The only way XPERE can get the ball away is to take it up high. And XPERE, that's where they could really depend on their mechanics to shine and see if they can play at a higher pace against Galactic. But so far, it's been a difference of a kickoff that has rewarded Galactic with possibly a game one. And now this will seal the deal.
Third goal here, and this is coming off the back of the demos. We talked about this. The overextensions from XPERE have already costed them 1 goal. It'll cost them another. This one, though, well earned from Galactic, recognizing the player downfield, demoing them before they get a chance to even react to the ball that's coming into their side. And boom, Galactic find themselves down 3-1 with 30 to go. Reveal trying to cut that lead in half, and he's going to. The flip preset into the pinch, and it's 3-2.
What a disgusting fake. Can you do it again in 21 seconds, though? And to bring this ball low against COOP, really good understanding of that situation from Reveal and XPERE. A lot of huge upcoming names in the bubble scene now. I guess technically entering the pro scene very soon. Excited for the new season, but Frosty will be stopped in his tracks. 13 seconds for XPERE to get those mechanics going to see they could just solo play their way to a tie, but being in the orange half is not gonna be good. Frosty has to make up for a lot of space, brings it under CORGI. Reveal is locking up XSYNC, and at the 0 second, we have a tie.
Are you kidding me? Frosty, honestly clever here, though, in flipping in, trying to go for the reset. Doesn't even get close and recognizes, okay, well, actually, I don't even need to touch this. Let it hit the ground. We've already got a defender flying at me expecting a 50. They make no contact, and like you said, XSYNC absolutely busy in the goal. No option but to flip towards the ball and pray. And they better pray right now that they can actually keep this lead and take the win again. Galactic were up 3-1 with less than 30 to go, and now they might be facing a game one defeat. XPERE starting off with some offense.
Okay, KOFYR just a touch to get away from the challenge. Good comms from XPERE. Now you're not worried about the kickoff. That was one of the goals from Galactic. Open nets, though, have really hurt XPERE. There's a demo, 3-on-2. Reveal with the reset, trying to bring it low, but not low enough. Galactic hold the wall, and the net seems open, and XPERE haven't found that chance to really pierce it yet.
Oh, but they might get it here. KOFYR, the drop down, and XSYNC the take away. Great defense again from Galactic right now, but they're really only displaying one half of the pitch. The defense cannot be the only thing that Galactic do through a minute of play in overtime. I don't know if they've had a chance at offense, and they won't get it. XPERE, they complete the comeback and take the win.
My God, XPERE locked in when it matters the most. Fantastic placement from Reveal in the upper 90. Galactic stuck on defense, which held up very well. They were so good at putting the ball to the side against a very threatening and mechanical XPERE. But at the end, it's the hat trick for Reveal to just get them that much closer to the overtime, and eventually bleeding over into the game one win.
I mean, the big thing for me that I have to note is not only the fact that Reveal clutches up and gets the hat trick, as you mentioned, but Frosty getting the playmaker, 3 assists to his name, showing that, that snowman chemistry is starting to show. We did have some questions at the beginning of it, with KOFYR looking a little bit worse for wear and some double commits in some awkward spaces, but I honestly think that he realized very quickly, hey, I'm just going to let them go and chase, go and control offense, and if I need to, I will get involved, play a much more third-man role, a more defensive role, and honestly, I think it worked out. Once they figure that out, it was pretty much just offense from XPERE. They controlled the midfield, controlled the pace of play, and as much as Galactic did play well here, I think we have to mention 15 shots to 5. As soon as XPERE found the offense, they lived there the rest of the game.
Well, Galactic have found some good moments on the counterattacks. I mean, XPERE left their net open sometimes. XPERE like to send all 3 on offense, really just bringing that confidence of knowing, okay, Galactic may not be a team that can measure up to us. They won't be able to clear, and even if they do, they won't have possession when they do so. So XPERE hold up as much real estate, as much of the field as possible. But at times, Galactic have found those gaps to not only escape, but to punish that open net that XPERE have given up willingly. But we go to game 2 with a very exciting overtime win for XPERE at the 0-second mark as well. Excited to see how Galactic will respond.
by pre-jumping them out of midfield. Okay, Corgi, I see you. Automatically getting aggressive on this one, and it's not exactly going to pay off quite yet, but I was going to say it might at least show something special. Speaking of show something special, are you kidding me? Reveal and Frosty, the two-headed Hydra strikes again.
Colliding in mid-air, and whew, that is a dangerous team, and we spoke about this in Game 1. Galactic need to just get ahead of this, be proactive is what I call it, to try and challenge before the ball gets that close to your backboard, before it gets that close to your net. You don't want someone having to make a save at the goal line. That's uncomfortable, that's risky, and this almost just bounces in, and it does!
Nah. Just nah. This is so wrong from KOFYR in every way. Faking it out like he's got a 50. Definitely had a 50. And he's throwing it up. Define aura. Yeah, KOFYR, I get it. You weren't involved in the scoring in Game 1. You wanted to shut us up for Game 2. You've done a great job. 30 seconds in, and it's 2-0 already.
XPERE already being creative with their offense, utilizing fakes, resets in Game 1. And it's just another element that Galactic have to face, and that's why you want to try and challenge this earlier on, and almost a chance for CORGI to score. And XPERE hold the line. XSYNC will collect, but didn't get the full tank of boost. He won't be able to be in the air for too long. At least he got revealed jumping and using his resources, and Galactic are knocking at the door.
Galactic got a chance here as well. Off the backboard, a light pinch from Reveal, at least pinch it out to the opposite corner. The demo after I thought was actually going to be in favor of Galactic, but it's actually in favor of XPERE, who will challenge downfield quickly, but they've used all three players. The counterattack, an option here for Galactic if they can hustle. Maybe took a bit too long. A pinch, though, will fire just a bit off target. Maybe the follow-up could give them something. CORGI trying to keep it in front of the goal mouth. Unfortunately, no follow-up from his teammates and the double commit. This should be some extra space for XPERE to work with as they transition downfield.
Jeez, they're going for XPERE going for those mid-air passes again, and if those start connecting, Galactic are gonna have to be worried. How can you close down those angles? I mean, the midfield has been no issue. Transitions easy. A shot like that for Frosty, easy enough too.
Super sub showing up pretty quickly here as the chat both explodes in-game, and I'd have to imagine on Twitch as well. My goodness, XPERE putting on a display already. We are 2 minutes in to this second game, and I gotta say, Galactic, you are playing phenomenally. You need to take advantage of one of these counterattacks, though. You are not out of this series, not out of this game, not by a long shot, but one of these chances has to convert.
Yeah, defensively, Galactic have really impressed me, and CORGI almost found that second touch mid-air. This gets redirected towards the Galactic net. And COOP has been such a solid pillar on the back end. How can he help push the front to a singular goal? XPERE have cleaned up. I mean, to the point where they're just always on offense and XPERE don't have to worry about defense too much. But like you said, the counterattacks are going to be key for Galactic.
Ooh, I like the passing play as they start up a counterattack. Unfortunately, it is going to be at the expense of pretty much all of their boosts, so not much option but to try and fly at the ball and hope that they can make contact. Speaking of which, I mean, this is not going to be, or is it going to be converted? Maybe? Yes? No? All right, it'll live in from the net for at least a couple of seconds. It won't be converted, but my goodness, you talk about the speed on counterattacks. XPERE really showing exactly what we're talking about. So quick with their ability to get in front of the net and at least take a semi-lethal shot, even if it doesn't convert every time. It's what we need to see out of Galactic right now. They're playing phenomenally, like you said, on defense, but they need to show they can do the same on offense. A chance here. COOP just needs to drop down, but can't get past Reveal.
Galactic just don't have a lot of offensive options. You assess the field of where XPERE are sitting. There's one on the backboard and one in each corner, and you know they'll be able to cross in front of the net. So Galactic trying to see if they can win a 50 in front of the net, and this is just open. XPERE are going to have to adjust. XSYNC has time to get back in net. Reveal takes the shot high, goes for the double, and sinks it.
Reveal finally getting on the scoreboard here. Surprising after getting a hat trick in maybe about a minute or two in the last game. He finally gets on with a 90-second mark just about chiming, and he does so with an exclamation point. My goodness, the double touch off the backboard. And I think that might seal the deal. Technically, there's a decent amount of time left, but good luck to Galactic. At this point, XPERE have shown they not only have just this hyper-electric offense, but their defense has stepped up at times that it needs to. Even the challenges off the backboard have just kind of prevented Galactic from building up enough offense to threaten.
And XPERE are exposing a lot of those cracks in the defense by force. They're chasing Galactic around. You may not see demos or being registered, or you're not seeing physical bumps, but the act of XPERE just always being on Galactic's tail and even sometimes taking boost is really stressing out Galactic and maybe pushing them out of positions. XPERE have taken full advantage of this moment, and COOP just forces his way in for the first goal of Galactic.
You know what? I will take this for a number of reasons. Not only is it the first goal, like you said, to just kind of, right the ship at this point and give them some momentum, but they're also proving they also have the mechanical ability. An air dribble to a dunk on the line. Galactic, you might not have guaranteed yourselves a comeback quite yet, but you're showing this is still going to be a fight. If XPERE do want to take the win here, they still have a lot left to be done, especially with this series going to 7.
Yeah, Galactic play very good in-net defense. That still stresses me out because at least Galactic, that one goal they got was just being physical in the net. Maybe that could be the key to success instead of the counterattack. So really just if you can get any attack going, that's great. But the air dribble bumps. If XPERE are only going to have one in net because they're confident enough to save anything, then see if you can send a second man or just bring a lot more force to the push. But 4-1. Possibly end game 2 here, putting XPERE up 2-0 in the series. Okay, XSYNC gets one for the road, not bad.
Again, still showing they've got some fight left in them. Unfortunately, it will not change the outcome like you mentioned. This is just basically a consolation goal. But again, it is proving Galactic, despite the score lines being pretty heavily in favor of XPERE here in the second game, this was definitely competitive back and forth, and Galactic still, I think, have a couple aces up their sleeve that they haven't quite shown yet. However, for them, they're going to need to start showing it now. 2-0 here. XPERE have a significant lead. They win one more. They're on match point, and a reverse sweep required from Galactic. I'm going to guess that they should try to avoid that.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough hill to overcome for Galactic, but keeping this as close as they can. I like that there's some joking around in the Rocket League chat of just Galactic being pretty impressed already with the mechanics out the gate. You would expect any team to be slow to get the ball rolling, literally. And XPERE are out here hitting double taps and just sending the house at the back wall. So XPERE were not joking around. They came in almost too aggressive in game 1. Kind of gave up a kickoff goal, gave up an open net goal, and then XPERE calmed down. And now that they're composed, they are a very dangerous team. That's looking like a tournament winner already right there.
I mean, that was the prediction coming into this one. We know this team has the capabilities, and with the addition of Frosty on this squad, it's almost even more likely, in my opinion. But the big thing I will say is that right now, they do seem to be dominating the aerial game. One of the biggest places they seem to be having this amount of freedom to create these passing plays and more intricate plays are in the air. It's why we keep seeing them go for team pinches, passing plays with pre-jumps. It has been impressive the entire way through, but the main thing I will say is that it has also forced Galactic to start challenging them there, baiting them into these challenges, pulling players off the ground, and just sort of breaking down this defense that was so Loctite in game 1. It's still very possible in game 3 that they're going to be able to turn this around, but they need to. Like we said, if they lose this one, it's going to require 4 straight from Galactic to take a win in this series. If they want to try and keep this close, give themselves some breathing room, they need a win right here and now.
Ooh, XSYNC had such a good launch and was carrying it through. Some good early pressure from Galactic. Even just right off the kickoff, they registered a shot on net. So I'm starting to see kind of Galactic become more comfortable in the air and maybe more comfortable to go for solo plays. But I think against a team as talented as XPERE, I wouldn't mind to see more passes from Galactic. And they've shown the potential of that. There is chemistry on this team. This Frosty sends it all the way back, and XSYNC third man back has to try and stop Reveal.
Oh my goodness, Reveal, what a catch into an offense. What a way to start that off. But it's not going to matter much, as quickly it seems like Galactic are going to escape their defense. Will be sent right back to midfield, though, as it does look like... Oh, wait, maybe not. I was going to say, XPERE should have a free clear. Maybe overthinking this one a little bit, getting too fancy with the ball, and now more shots on target. Frosty going to be able to save that one, but XPERE's got to be careful. We talked about this in game 1 as well. You might have the better mechanics. You might be the team that can score first, but if you just give up a lead for kind of a nonsense play, it's not exactly going to be to your benefit.
Well, this is the most we've seen XPERE sweat in this series so far.
Yeah.
So Galactic have really brought a fire, and COOP is just trying to go for a high 50, and I think XPERE disengaged, so the ball was free, and it almost gets into the net, and KOFYR confirms it.
KOFYR calls the bluff here. He recognizes this ball is so powerful. There's probably not going to be a touch from CORGI, and as soon as he sees him miss it off the backboard, bang, redirect in. A narrow angle, but not for a player like KOFYR. XPERE up once again in this series with 3 minutes to go. Like we said, Galactic have got to show us that they have still got some tricks up their sleeve. They need to fight back. Definitely do not concede here. Easier said than done.
There was an initial really good effort from Galactic. If we were to see the replay here, there was a reset off Frosty, and CORGI tried to slow his car down and just tried to be as patient as he could. But XPERE Frosty still got past him and then was able to connect on a pass right at the goal line. So Galactic, I'm seeing the earlier challenges, earlier attempts to slow down XPERE, but the fakes is what's really dangerous and lethal about the offense of XPERE. Now utilizing the corner, all 3 players of XPERE are on this offensive third until they have to retreat.
I mean, I hate to use this word, but you know what? It's a high school competition. They'll relate to this one. It's the aura of this team. It really is. XPERE just truly have it. They know how good each of these individual players are. So when you see them go for a play, you have to make the challenge. You quite literally don't have an option, because if you give them the time and space and don't make a challenge, they're going to flip reset. They're going to do something mechanical. They're going to punish you for it. So it is Galactic having to see the other players on the other side, knowing what they're capable of, and going, all right, well, it's time to challenge. And XPERE have definitely used that to their advantage. Like you said, a lot of fakes in places where you would expect a 50, expect a challenge, and at least Galactic expects it, but XPERE, just the wiser. They know exactly how they need to play. They know how to throw a head fake here or there that catches Galactic off guard. This has been a fantastic game from them, but at the same time, Galactic, okay, well, I was about to say have played phenomenal defense. They're still in this. Unfortunate timing as they concede their third.
I mean, that's just CORGI, unfortunately, setting up the enemy at that point. Just any bad touch like that, XPERE are going to be all over that. Yeah, big sad face. How could you score? And XPERE will definitely be the team to run up the score on you. They're just going to try and get flashier with it. And they've done everything, from the ceiling to the ground pinch to the double tap to everything. Less than 2 minutes. XPERE in firm control of this game, of this series. And Galactic have come close to pulling off some nice solo plays, but being limited on boost doesn't help. They're starting to steal some boost from XPERE, but how can they get a goal going? That's the question.
Ooh, challenges like that off the backboard will definitely help them. I do appreciate that, Galactic. Many teams in this scenario, once they do start to see that they are just being outpaced by their opponents, would start to shy away from challenges, would maybe get a bit more hesitant. Galactic are not at all. They have no fear. They are still making aggressive challenges, still getting in the face of their opponents, and really doing what they need to keep this series close. Unfortunately for them, it hasn't resulted in a goal here in Game 3, and with only about a minute to go, they need to hustle, try and get something started maybe here. CORGI off the backboard, looking for the double touch. Unfortunately, can't get around it.
There's some good support from Galactic. Like, if they find themselves awkward on the ball, there's a teammate to help them push. To 46 seconds. And Galactic, it just takes perfect mechanics. This CORGI almost could have set himself up to launch into the backboard, and XPERE just one step ahead as reveal with the, oh my god, the air dribble demo right into the net is pretty rude.
Come on now, Reveal. Come on, you didn't have to do him like this. You had no reason to. Now, granted, the thing is, he kind of did. If he didn't get that goal, I don't know if you saw, Frosty and KOFYR were right behind him. They were ready to steal that without a second thought. And honestly, XPERE, they're just about ready to steal this series. 30 seconds to go, and they're going to take a third game, barring a miracle from the Galactic side. This has been a series to remember in terms of, hey, we said coming into this one, there is a favorite that we expect to do too well. We have now seen exactly what those favorites are capable of. There is still more games to go in this series, but Galactic, if you want to change up the results we've seen so far, you gotta go to the drawing board. The defense has been immaculate from this team, but the offense needs to back it up.
Well, at least it sounds really exciting for the future of, I guess, unconfirmed rumors, question mark, of Space Station and the young talent they're bringing on. And is this going to be, well, parts of the roster anyway, that can help Space Station propel themselves in North America? It's really exciting. And for them to still be in high school, like, imagine what they're going to be like once they get into CRL. Once they get into Eurorealm Bass, they're just going to take over, I guess.
These guys, I believe, at least for the XPERE side, Reveal and KOFYR are both 17, so they are just about ready to get into the collegiate space as soon as they're done with this, and I'd have to hope that they do. Professional space is great, but for those of you that maybe don't know as much about the collegiate, there's a huge ecosystem in Rocket League, one of the largest collegiate ecosystems on the planet. So, yeah, pay attention to these players, man. I promise you, you'll be hearing their names for many years to come. This team, not only professionally, but at a scholastic, high school, and collegiate level, will be extremely prevalent. Man, XPERE, I gotta say, you guys have played phenomenally, but I still want to give my props to Galactic. They have played not only very, very well, I really do believe that this team is still capable of getting some wins in this series. They have got to find some offense, but their defense has been so solid.
Yeah, because XPERE don't know what defense is like when they're just permanently on offense, and I think Galactic can catch an XPERE who is underestimating them, maybe not respecting them, and not respecting their own defense. So Galactic, it's been a while since we've seen a goal. There's been a lot of good attempts, but XPERE in these 50s have been solid. Now Reveal, free on the ball, wards the back. Frosty is just is up, I guess, to put it off to the side. Wanted maybe a more quality opportunity. And, well, here's a quality goal.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, the first lead for Galactic FG we have seen the entire series, and it's a well-earned one at that. Off the ceiling, extra flip saved in the bag, and XSYNC uses it at the right time. I'm not even going to acknowledge what is happening in the top left with the trash talk coming out of XSYNC here. But be careful. You know that old saying, don't poke the bear? Yeah, don't poke the bear.
Yeah. Oh, CORGI. Or no, that's COOP, actually. Good low pass, it bounces, and Frosty was right there, and Galactic need to have awareness of if they're gonna go for passes, where is XPERE on the field, and try to force the ball away from them. Ideally, as CORGI's gonna force the ball away, and he's got a good launch, can't get under the ball, but does connect with XSYNC, who almost got the double.
At this point, it does kind of feel like XPERE are maybe trying to play a bit too fast for their own good. They're getting really aggressive with these demos and challenges, and I feel like if they threw back in those head fakes we talked about before, that might be able to catch their opponents off guard. But instead, Galactic showing that steadfast defense that we know them for. They have yet to give up a goal through over a minute of play and a lot of offensive pressure. Speaking of which, more passing plays coming through from XPERE. KOFYR off the ceiling, actually leaves it for Frosty. Flip reset, but nothing to do with it. Galactic at this point don't even seem phased by the offense that XPERE is throwing at them.
Hey, COOP denied. Set up in the corner. XSYNC with the direct shot. That's the closest we've seen KOFYR. Incredible save. It's Frosty with the counter. The double still goes through. You just can't stop Reveal.
Reveal has been a scoring machine. He is averaging 2 goals a game at this point, or at least coming into this one, and he might just be able to keep that up 1-1 with 3 minutes to go. And once again, the duo of Frosty and Reveal strike when it matters most.
Tie game for now. Can Galactic claw their way back into the series? They have to peak here and now, and it has to start with getting in Reveal's way, and everyone's in the way of the net as KOFYR isn't able to pierce through it yet. It's Reveal with a reset going low, multiple defenders. XSYNC with a backflip keeps it out.
XSYNC barely blinking at that one. They've seen those flip resets into pinches far too many times. They've been scored on in this series from that. I don't think they're keen to give up another. Really good patience right now from Galactic. We talked about it before with XPERE being the faster team, really dominating the aerial space. It's not really happening anymore. These two teams are starting to actually need each other for these 50s, and Galactic, while they are shying away just a little bit from these challenges, it's more a patient version. They are not over-aggressing at times they don't need to, but they are making the challenges in a timely manner. I like this. They have found the silver lining. They have found that razor's edge that they need to balance on, and it's working out beautifully for them. Unfortunately, it hasn't resulted in a second goal, though. If Galactic want to get back into the series and take a win, they need to find one while they've got a chance.
There's been some small moments where XPERE look awkward on the ball and Galactic just hesitate too much on wanting to be aggressive and physical back at XPERE. As Frosty almost with the setup to the opponent until Reveal popped it up. Now mistouch from XPERE, and Galactic aren't playing fast enough to punish or to at least get into these windows of opportunity to get some offense rolling. And when they're demoed, it's Galactic constantly have to reset.
Oh, speaking of reset, they got to hustle back into their own side and see if they can get that defense going yet again. You might actually have to stay there for all too long. A passing play attempted, but cut out at midfield. Reveal back in the air with a reset. Double off the backboard, and nobody there to follow it up. You can see XPERE starting to take this a bit more seriously. Their midfield a little bit more contained. They're not going for these pre-jumps, but maybe they should, because a free transition for Galactic and another offense for our team in blue.
We're still tied. Galactic have a chance to get back in this series. It just takes one for them to force another game, or for XPERE to close it out. And here's Frosty and KOFYR trying to organize themselves in the air, and that doesn't work out.
Oh, Corgi, double off the backboard, denied by Reveal again. He really has been my MVP for the series so far, both in offense and defense. He's shown up when it matters most, but can they show up here with under a minute to go? If XPERE want to close this series out here, and now all they need is that one golden goal, or at least theoretically, technically have time for a couple more, but not if the defense isn't allowing anything. Another chance for Galactic. They will continue their offense at midfield, but the multiple pre-jumps from XPERE will get in the way.
Oh man, XPERE may have slowed down, but not for someone like Frosty. What a redirect! That's insane!
Oh, this is just so filthy. You can see it. Frosty knew as soon as that pass came out centered, he had to hammer that one home, and he does exactly that. 25 seconds to go. Galactic, in my opinion, this has been your best game yet, but in order to complete it, you need to at least see an overtime and take the win. Double commit here. This is an open lane. Is anybody prepared to get the double touch? COOP is, misses, can't get there, but Corgi can, and we've got another tie.
Galactic have just stayed in that shadow this game of XPERE, and Frosty was right behind them. But XPERE leaving their defense open. Their backline weaker. Galactic have punished. 13 seconds. Are we going to extend the series or end it here? Our first grand finalist of the Upgrade Arena. XPERE working on just that. Reveal with a pass to KOFYR to the corner. Ball could land on the ground for our second overtime. This XSYNC getting the ball up to CORGI, who has more boost, calls off COOP. Now Reveal with 30 boost off the ceiling as the reset. Gets it towards the net. Couldn't get the direct shot. We go to overtime.
This one hits the ground. We get our second OT of the series. The only difference this time is it was actually Galactic in the driver's seat for a majority of this game versus an XPERE who have really seemed a bit more uncomfortable at moments that they shouldn't have. So now, can Galactic take advantage, or do they overcommit? KOFYR off the backboard, sees the challenge, sees the net, and sees the series close.
Big GG's, XPERE with a 4-0. KOFYR with the solo play, insane from the high-low. They'll go on to the grand finals for a chance to fight for those Lenovo Legion PCs. And of course, we do have prizes for second and third place. And if you're the other semifinal, you better watch out. That is a terrifying team that is awaiting you in the grand finals. Up next, we're going to have BJHS Fusion versus Minions.
Oh, I'm very excited for that one. I mean, look, All props in the world to both Galactic and XPERE for the series that we just saw. Again, we came into this one knowing that XPERE were going to be the favorites. We had an idea that this could be a team that could win it all. But one thing I didn't expect was a Galactic that pushed them to 2 separate overtimes. Yes, it's a 4-0, but in my opinion, the overall game score there, or the series score, is not reflective of how close that was in many moments throughout that series. Props to Galactic. We talked about it. When this team was actually playing well on defense, it led to great transitions into offense, and they did so much with that ability to transition so quickly.
XPERE did so much in so little time. A 4-0 win to cement themselves in the grand finals. We got one more semifinal to go, and here are the replays of how that all broke down. It was a lot of solo plays and a lot of aggression off of XPERE, and physical too, like a lot of demos.
It was very physical, both in solo plays, like you said, and also through team bump plays as well, plus passing plays like this. This kind of felt like the bread and butter for XPERE throughout multiple moments in this series, where it was just over and over again, you would see these passing plays and also fakes like that. Again, XPERE, I think this was the game where they literally said, it's the aura. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. When you're scoring goals like that, it's very hard to.
Yeah, XPERE is just one of the most mechanical teams we probably have in this tournament. And it took a lot of effort defensively. It was a lot of goal line saves, though, which look cool, very entertaining, but not if you're on the blue side. I think Galactic were stressing, but I think they had fun with this. I think you have to respect the big names coming from the orange side, and you come into this just doing your best. That's all you can really hope for. You got this far, and you're going to get some amount of prizing. But to take down XPERE was going to take out a lot. It was going to take a lot out of you.
It's going to take a lot, and for whatever team sees this squad next, I wish you the best of luck. Next on the docket, we have got BJHS Fusion, which I'm going to make sure that I pronounce this fully right, because we've got the actual school's name. It's Bob Jones High School Fusion versus our next opponent here in, I was going to make sure before it goes away, I believe it's Minions. Yes, Minions is going to be TYBER, Ian, and Not Glowing. That is not going to be a full high school team, as in from the same school, but it is another team that has got a ton of experience behind it. I'm wondering if our audience is going to know of the Hoops legend Ian and the legacy that comes with him.
Oh, hoops. But does he know ball, at least for competitive Rocket League? Well, we're about to find out. Everyone, stay tuned, stay in your seats, or at least get up to grab some snacks. We got another semifinal. We'll see you there.
We are trying to build the definitive amateur ecosystem for esports here in the United States and beyond. Our mission is to create transformative personal growth opportunities through competitive gaming.
It's important to make Scholastic Esports available to students because it gives them an opportunity to build their skill sets beyond just what's available in school. And so, traditionally you can build those skill sets through after-school programs or traditional sports, and there's a lot of folks that don't kind of align with what's available today. And in reality, like, everybody's a gamer, and so we give everybody the opportunity to build those skills.
For schools that are looking to add an esports program, you're opening a chance for students to really be part of a new culture and to really build something positive for your school. Our team is really focused on building this support system and really having a wraparound service for schools. You're not in it alone when you come to the Play Versus platform.
Our role in the space is to break this stereotype and basically show that there is actually a legitimate career path. So you can turn your passion into a career and be successful.
I'd say this is the most excited I've been about Play Versus. Gaming is one of the few things that you can actually compete against other people across the country without having to have the resources to jump on a plane, and people's worlds are going to be expanded.
One of the most important things is not about changing the world, it's about changing one person's world.
We are incredibly excited about unlocking more opportunities for more individuals to compete in competitive gaming across the Play Versus network going forward.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Upgrade Arena, brought to you by Lenovo. We're getting into our second semifinal. We're excited to see how far these two schools will go. We got Minions versus BJHS, or Bob Jones High School from Alabama.
I am very excited for this one here. We talked about it coming into this series, but this should be a bit familiar, at least for some of the bubble players within the Rocket League scene. If you pay attention to any extra modes, you're going to pay attention to at least one of the two teams coming up, but it's really a tale of two different sides. On one side, we've got Minions with Ian, who many might know is one of the best hoops players of all time with Not Glowing and TYBER. On the other side, though, Lemon, it gets a little bit different with BJHS Fusion being a team that has won. Let me make sure I get the total number here right, because this was almost unfathomable. As a roster, this team has 18 state championships combined. You want to talk about chemistry? I don't think it gets better than this Fusion team.
Yeah, Bob Jones High School, a huge school when it comes to the play versus league. And that is a lot of championships to be winning together. They've been through thick and thin and apparently not enough good competition. But how will they fare against the Minions, who have, well, mechanics in their own right? They're all SSL. This theoretically should be a close match, but it all depends on how much time the Minions have really had together and really who's going to come out hot off the gates.
I'm curious to see how this Minions teams play, because I've seen TYBER a couple of times, I've seen Glowing a couple of times, but Ian is definitely the most familiar name on this squad to myself, and I know his capabilities. But if his teammates can play anywhere near his level, it should be a pretty fearsome team to face against. But again, for BJHS, this is such a cohesive team that sometimes it doesn't matter your individual skill with the prowess of players. It's about the chemistry. How well can you play as a team, even if they are self-proclaimed underdogs? They said it to us. We know we're coming into this final, the underdogs of this top four, and we're going into the series with that mentality. They want to fight back. They don't care what competition's ahead of them, and they care that the series has started. Game one in yet another best of 7. And while Minions might be showing, the mechanics are still on display.
We're just not wasting any time. First, TYBER addresses the double commit challenge out of the defense and feeds the ball to Ian perfectly. And you see that Fusion already very stressed, trying to not let Minions develop, but they need to communicate who's going to be addressing the problem. You can't leave your net open like that.
Yeah, not going to benefit you at pretty much any moment in Rocket League, and it's definitely not going to benefit you when you've already conceded a goal through not even the first 30 seconds, meaning now this Fusion team is going to have to play from behind for the remainder of this game, and my goodness, they're mostly going to play defense if it keeps going like this. Constant challenges out at midfield from Minions and really suppressing any chances at offense that Fusion might be trying for.
Oh, I like that Fusion were trying to go for some passes, but TYBER has been pretty quick with it and led Minions to a counterattack. Now the ball stalled out. Minions aren't able to take a direct shot on the net as Ian dumps it back into the blue half, and HIROKI is just quicker. Now the ball is free, so you see Fish have to use some boost to get up into the air, reach with a direct shot, TYBER to the side.
I like this. I'm starting to see a settle down here from Fusion. They got a little bit calmer, a little bit more collected, and now the challenges at midfield look a lot more confident, as well as the passing plays that maybe didn't have the exact vigor necessary to connect. Now they're starting to, and I feel like Fusion are going to give us a much more contentious back half of this game. Unfortunately for them, they've still conceded a goal and a second. Great plays from Minions to double their lead.
He's not glowing, but he's scoring. That's what matters. And it was Ian that got the demo, too, to open things up. And Fish was still adjusting in the net. Minions in full control of this game one. And Fusion, I think, are still trying to find their footing, find their stride. There's been good attempts at passes and transitioning quickly. But Minions, especially TYBER, has been a player to watch for me from Minions.
Yeah, TYBER has been excellent so far here. Really, him and Ian have done a lot to lead their team into offenses on repeat. Now they're going to have to lead their team in defense, though. Some more pressure coming out from Fusion. As HIROKI, good challenge in the corner. Can they find another? Absolutely! No one there to follow it up. Unfortunately, Reach was more lurking around, as it looks like Fish was all the way back in defense and maybe not prepared enough in defense. Ian, a very aggressive challenge, and it will result in a goal.
Yeah, Fish just Got an unfortunate catch. Not expect the ball to bounce like on top of this car, and just Minions were already racing downfield after that ball. Like, Minions are never gonna give up fighting for possession. They're always trying to 50, they're always attacking the ball, and now Glowing is trying to bring this back down to earth before Reach gets in his way.
TYBER, again, causing problems for this defensive Fusion. And again, they're playing well. It just kind of feels like, unfortunately, the Minions are finding them at the most vulnerable points. Whether it's on transition plays or moments where the net is just not well defended enough. And it just kind of feels as if Fusion are still playing catch-up right now. A goal would go a long way to instill some confidence in this team, but they won't find it quite yet. How about on the rebound? Fish tries to get the laydown to HIROKI, but it's denied once again on the line.
3-0 going into the second half. Reach with a full tank, HIROKI too, and Ian already trying to put a stop to any attempts at clearing. As Fusion at least aren't going for any double commits. They've really cleaned up those mistakes that Minions exposed earlier on. Fusion haven't been able to get a clean transition. Minions just being so annoying in the midfield. I like the attempts at Fusion, trying to get creative, bringing the ball low against the defense that jumped up, but so far nothing for Fusion.
Nothing much. They are starting to get more offense at a more frequent rate here, but the problem is very quickly they are sent back into defense and put in this blender that Minions continue to put them in. Been another shot here, another rebound off the backboard, and another chance for Fusion to escape, but the constant pressure of Minions just will not allow them. You talked about it before, that annoying playstyle. In any other video game, you'd probably use that as a diss. Here it is a compliment. They are just not leaving Fusion alone, not giving them moments to breathe, and it is making it so frustrating as they constantly go for transitions that are stuffed out every time.
Fusion are trying to adjust where that first man is, and now a double commit forces Minions' backs against the wall. But yeah, Fusion will have a man downfield, but it's tough to get a pass going when the midfield has been so treacherous for Fusion to cross. And now I'm seeing them trying to organize to support each other better on the offensive front. And it's looking better to get into the orange half with more better possession, but 45 seconds left and Fusion don't have a goal.
Yeah, they're still being shut out, over 4 minutes without one here. And it doesn't feel as if Fusion are just completely out of this series nor out of this game, but I think the one thing I'm starting to notice is that they are still almost too eager to go for passing plays. They started off the game that way, and I don't think it's a bad idea when you are the almost undoubtedly more cohesive team due to the multiple high school championships they've been able to score, or they've been able to win. You're probably going to rely on passing plays, on team plays to get around your opponents. The problem is, Minions, every time they see you do that, they go, all right, well, this team is not fast enough to catch us off guard. I spoke too soon, though. Finally, a goal shows for Fusion.
Yeah, just Reach feeding this to HIROKI. Beautiful placement in the upper corner. It's seeming too little too late. 12 seconds. Something would have to happen off the kickoff for Fusion. And Fish gets the ball rolling, but they've got no boost and none is spawning. Now time is running out, and Fusion failed to make their mark in game one, but it's Minions that will keep the capes on their back as the heroes of game one. 3-1 is how that will end.
Well, I said that this series was hopefully going to be a bit more of a back and forth, and I still believe that it could be. You know who disagrees with that statement? Minions, and thoroughly do they disagree with that after a 3-1 victory, which realistically, they probably could have kept a clean sheet the whole way through as well. I gotta say, not only am I impressed by the way that Minions playing, I'm impressed on how they're getting these goals. Lemon, feels like every goal they scored was off of a pinch to a passing play or something hyper-mechanical, and we did say they would probably be the more mechanical of the two teams. They're at least backing that statement up.
Yeah, and Fusion, I think they're still building up the right blocks to try and dismantle Minions, but Minions have been the clear better team, at least just in game one, but it's really hard to evaluate teams just off of game one, where there are some teams who like to play really passive to kind of see what is working with the other team offensively to counter that. But we are still yet to see the game plan out of Fusion themselves and what their potential, where their peak really lies.
Well, let's see, can they do it here? Bob Jones High School Fusion. The boys from Bama still have a lot left to show us, or at least we hope. If Minions continue on their warpath that we had seen before, This might be another series that seems pretty heavily one-sided, but I've got faith in Fusion. They looked really good through the back half of Game 1. Once they found ways to start generating offense more frequently, can they find a way to hold onto that offense and get a lead here in Game 2? We're about to find out.
At least TYBER's being stopped, like HIROKI getting in their face, but minions have carved their way past their defenses, and Fusion's still able to rotate back, not let this go by easily for minions. Now there's much more of a contest in the midfield, and Fusion able to buy themselves some more offense because of this.
Out of the corner, TYBER. Whoa, not the greatest touch, but they'll keep it at least close enough they can go for an air dribble afterwards. And the flip reset. And we talk about the mechanics here for minions being on display. It feels like they want to display them at literally all moments. Speaking of which, Glowing looking for an interesting redirect out of the corner. And the challenge from TYBER after, again, these constant challenges that just do not give any reprieve. Fusion, you're definitely generating more offense, but minions, you're definitely stopping them in a majority of them. You just need to be careful. If they pop it around your final defender even one time, that is the freest counterattack we will see all day.
Ian just attempted at a double reset, like, it's totally disrespecting Fusion's defense. I don't think minions will be able to just freestyle the way that XPERE did in their series. Minions have a much more competitive opponent here in Fusion, and this is a dangerous ball, and Fusion thankfully get it out.
Get it out, but they're not going to get off the half, at least not quite yet. Out at midfield, Glowing. One touch to the ceiling, a second touch to the backboard. How about a third into the net? No, off the backboard again. Teammates will be there to back him up, but it does kind of feel like minions finding ways to slow down the offense that BJHS have been trying to develop. We talked about it in the Game 1 where they finally found that development of offense through the back half of the game. Here in the front half of Game 2, I don't know if they've had many chances. The good thing for them, though, they haven't conceded a goal yet, and they might even find the first lead. Fish in a 1v1, but Glowing to make the stop.
Fusion were doing really well in the midfield to draw minions to certain spots and then go for double touches that completely eluded minions, and that's the best looking offense we've seen out of Fusion. Still a 0-0 game though, with minions now finding their backs against the wall. Full tank though for TYBER, going up high and going up against Fish and HIROKI. I think that stopped them in the midfield. It's a bit of a scramble. Ian is just gonna tie this one to bed. It almost did.
What year is it? We're bringing out Doomsies again? My goodness, it has been quite a moment since I've seen a goal like that come through, and we won't see it here today either, but with 2 minutes to go, we haven't seen anything. Still, no goal on the board. Maybe this changes here. In front of net, the shot is off. The follow from Ian will find its way in. It's a floater, but an awkward defense from Fusion had no answer.
A good initial stop by HIROKI, but this net got overwhelmed, and Fish tried to cut the angle, but was too late on the jump and the challenge. So 1-0 for minions. It finally boiled over into a goal. But will this lead remain? Glowing to TYBER, and I think everyone was looking at Glowing to make the solo play, but it's TYBER that shines.
And unfortunately, we've seen plays like this before. Fakes really are at the advantage of the team in the lead, and that's why Fusion kind of just have to sit there and assume that you're going to see this out of Glowing, a player that has had hyper-mechanical moments throughout this series. Instead, a little bit of hesitation catches them off guard. The fake all of a sudden finds an open shot, and boom, it's 2-0. Let's make it 3. Ian looking for another. And unfortunately, I've got to mention this again. Fusion not only struggling to get a goal here in this game, but struggling overall in the series. 5 goals to minions through 2 games, a single one to the Fusion so far through 9 minutes of play.
I mean, the initial stops are good out of Fusion, but minions are finding the rebound and capitalizing on these really hectic scenarios that close to the net in the box. Fusion attempting at a redirect there. Good try. HIROKI with the demo, and minions still have 2 in the net.
TYBER, there's this one out to the sidewall. At this point, they don't need another goal. They just need to waste time, and keeping this ball in the air and away from Fusion is exactly how you do that. Fusion, though, will get a chance here. HIROKI earned something up, but has no support, or at least had support, but they were lurking a bit too far behind. Reach does go for the touch, but can't find anything. Fish to at least keep it in the half, but they've got to hustle. Again, Minions with a 2-0 lead. If they want to find a way back, they need to get a goal now. Unfortunately, stopped yet again on the line, and here come Minions with an offense of their own.
Oh, good push by Ian. He's going to follow through. Reach wasn't merely jumping for that ball. Ian recognizing Reach wanted boost, and it's really a scramble for possession, and Glowing almost wanted to just bump this in. 5 seconds left. Minions, untouchable. They shut out in game 2 to get them even further ahead in the series. This TYBER almost wanted a third one, but finally we'll show some mercy to Fusion.
They'll show some mercy, but this is probably the most painful mercy I have ever seen here. Despite the fact that they are not scoring anymore here, they've only conceded 1 goal through 10 minutes of play, and they've held them scoreless basically for 2 5-minute periods at this moment. Game 1, they got a goal with, I think, 13 seconds left. That's almost 5 minutes scoreless. Game 2, the entire 5 minutes scoreless. So, Minions, we talked a lot about your offense and about the displays that you have shown us both in the air, in the corner, and mechanically, but I think we've also got to compliment their defense now. 4 saves, more saves than their opponents, and the exact amount of shots that BJHS took. So every time BJHS did get an offense, Minions were heavily prepared for it.
I'm surprised the series is going this way just based on all the accolades we were reading off for Bob Jones High School. Like you said, like 15 or something state championships. Like this is a team that is used to winning everything. And of course, we don't know if maybe Minions under a different school name where we're contesting any of these titles, how many championships Minions have from their own school. But this has been a Minions series. They're up 2-0 in the series, and we'll see if Bob Jones High School will be able to come back.
I believe in them. I know Fusion still definitely has some chances in this series. They have not played poorly, but again, it's their offense that really needs to step up when it matters most. They have had the chances, but most of those chances have been quickly taken away by Minions and their defense. Can they find something here? Can they start the scoring themselves? Absolutely. 13 seconds in. They really like that 13-second mark.
That's where they shine, on like 0 boost too. And HIROKI has been such a good passing option in the box, and that's been a way that Fusion have been almost able to score, if not score off of last game. So keep setting up HIROKI for success, but Fusion still need to work on how they could feed the ball to him. So far, so good, though, at the start of game 1.
They gotta be careful, though. Here comes an offense from Minions and a double reset from TYBER. They don't have enough boost to lock into the final touch, but at least they've got Ian and Glowing on the backup. Touch to the backboard. Ian there to 50 it and keep it in the half. TYBER, same idea. It's not a great touch across, but it will prevent Fusion from breaking out and trying to further their lead, or at least initially. Fish, great challenge, great follow-up, but can Fusion do anything with this as they finally get out of their half?
Oh, and HIROKI's demoed, and Fish is just trying to buy time in the midfield, and okay, Reach is gonna swing at this, force the Minions defense to make a decision. You leave Fish in a 1v3, and somehow he keeps that out.
I have no idea how Fish was able to get that. Part of it might have just been the shot not going to a more vulnerable part of the net, but still, props to not even getting demoed. With that many players on you, you'd think you'd get bumped, demoed, and quite literally removed from the net. They stand tall, and so does the lead. Over a minute gone now in Fusion, definitely showing that there is still some fight in them. How about a second goal in them? Shot on target and in! Great read off the backboard from Fish.
Starts with the Reach launch towards the backboard, Glowing and Ian in net, and it's a high ball, and just too slow of a reaction from Minions to hope to pitch it off the crossbar and out. And when you're looking at someone in the air, it is tough to assess the situation. Minions find themselves behind for the first time all series, I think. Fusion found the pace that they like to play at, and that's on offense. And Fish and HIROKI working so well as a duo on the front.
I do still want this Fusion team to be a little bit careful. Their passing plays are starting to finally become effective on offense, but their defense has still had some awkward moments here or there. They escaped from the first 3v1. I don't think they should bank on escaping from others in the future. Or maybe they just have the greatest defender on the planet. Once again, Fish pre-jumping in net and finds the save.
Oh, Fusion can recollect this. 56 boost. This is the guy to do the job. Reach is going to disengage. Fish up next. Called off. Great 50 out of Ian to not only clear this for minions, but to maybe set up an opportunity, but there's 2 defenders in the corner. It's tough for TYBER to deal with.
Out at midfield, Glowing. Good catch initially, and the fake out just needs to beat one more, and they get in the way of each other. TYBER, I think, was trying to get out of the way of Glowing and unintentionally blocks him from the double touch, and Minions gotta be shaking their heads at that play. Luckily enough for them, they will maintain the offense and get another chance at attack, but my goodness, that's gotta hurt. It won't hurt all too much, though, if they redeem themselves here. Glowing still finds the goal either way.
Oh, Minions keep it within 1. Glowing dodges 2 challenges and addresses that 1v1 against HIROKI in the net beautifully. Minions, they are climbing back in this game. Potentially just have a cleaner series from here on out. The Fusion is stepping up now on offense. Fish gets it towards the net and reaches there for the finish, and Fish can't clean it up either.
Oh, that would have been huge for the team, giving them that 2-goal lead again, especially with this amount of time left. Would have been so incredibly crucial. Instead, they're going to have to fight on from their 1-goal lead. They've maintained it for a long time, but they got that lead very early here. And unfortunately, after that, it's been Fusion with, I'd say, some fury behind these challenges. They are not thrilled that they have found themselves in this much of a deficit, and I don't think they want to stay there all too much longer, but they might need to actually fight back from a 2-goal deficit again if that shot was on target. Unfortunate for for Fusion. They had a chance to increase their lead. They will not take it, and once again, Minions right back into offense.
Minions attacking this ball and need to find a quality shot, and there is the deep pitch into the net. Minions overwhelmed them, just boil into the net, and everyone from Fusion is also bumping into each other. They can't get organized defensively.
Unfortunately, this is the one downfall for Fusion right now, is that their defense does step up at times when they need most, but at other times it also gets a bit disjointed, and you can see it. It's not the initial error, the initial misrotation that breaks the team down, but it's the compounding ones afterward, the small little problems that then force another challenge from an awkward player, and then force another challenge from an awkward player, and their defense has unfortunately been caught in this constant pressure so many times that it's a frequent sight to behold. So Fusion, can you just erase all of your defensive blunders, though, with a goal here? With under a minute to go, surely it would give you the first win in the series for your team. But they still have a lot of work left to be done. Shots like that, though, will help them get there.
Oh, Reach just sets it up, sees how the clear goes. Caught in the midfield by Fish, but HIROKI no boost to get into the air for it. 30 seconds. And Reach is just having these slight touches to try and feed the ball to a teammate, and it's not got a lot of power to it, and it's got a chance for Minions to get a grasp and to just simply steamroll their way into the net. Minions with the lead.
Oh, we talked about the physicality before, and we also talked about the awkwardness in net. You want to know the easiest way to make a player on defense awkward? Send a 2v1 with Ian as the lead blocker. Good luck to anybody who dares face him, and, well, good luck to Fusion. You have 19 seconds left to turn this result around, and after having the lead initially, you definitely want to at least see an overtime.
HIROKI's trying to cut through the defenders. Reach downfield. Awkward for Minions. Fusion taking advantage. HIROKI to Reach with a full tank, looking for a good launch, assesses the field, Minions forward, early challenge on the ground, Minions, match point.
Minions moving on to match point, and for Fusion, that has got to feel pretty painful. They found not only the lead almost immediately in that game, they actually found a 2-goal lead, and then it's a 3-goal swing from Minions. We've talked about this. Fusion, they have their moments where they score. It's like once a game where it's just boom, boom, offense is electric, but unfortunately for them, that awkwardness on defense that we've spoken about a lot is basically being forced, if I'm going to be real here. 10 shots to Fusion. And I have to imagine that almost all of those were pretty much on target and forcing that awkward defense we talked about from Fusion.
I like what HIROKI is doing from Fusion. And I'm like looking at his sheet, and apparently he's like only GC3. And I'm pretty sure this entire lobby but him is SSL. So for HIROKI to fit in and to be as impactful as he was is pretty great. But unfortunately, Fusion just weren't able to maintain that lead because, man, Minions were building up so much momentum. Once they started scoring, there was no stopping them.
Yeah, that's the big issue right now is that this Minion team, when they get hot, they get red hot. They just continue to fire over and over again these shots on target, and it's been Glowing that has been the lead man to charge into these battles and get them there. 7 shots in the last game. They had 2 goals and an assist. They are the forefront of this offense right now. Question is, though, can they do it again? One more performance like this, and they move on to the finals. However, Fusion, more shots like that, and it will also help them get there.
Minions versus Snowmen 2.0, like that would be quite the final, unless HIROKI has something to say about it. Direct shot, cleaned up by Reach, and it's Fusion with the lead.
Fusion with the lead early in the game yet again. Where have we seen this before? I'm not going to hold my breath quite yet. There's still a lot of work left to be done, especially considering the fact that the Minions have been able to score at least 2 goals a game every time we've seen them play. So Fusion, you've got one part of the puzzle. Now it's time to complete it. Can you hold on to this lead and further it even more?
Yeah, Fusion good at finding the rebounds, and Minions just connecting in the air and deposit this in the bank. It just like floats in like a butterfly.
This might be the best goal of the day, and I'm not sure if anything's going to top it. Musty flick into a last-second redirect. Glowing, you had barely an angle, if one at that. But the spearhead of this offense continues to poke prod and draw blood again. My goodness, this is why we say, Fusion, you might be able to get 1 goal, but keeping Minions down and away from the net is a much more difficult task.
Glowing, coming from Curtis High School in New York. I just can't believe talent like this exists in high school. Like, high school esports wasn't even a thing when I was in high school. And especially in Rocket League, ooh, there's talent stemming across the US. But we are in a tie game with Fusion fighting tooth and nail to get this lead back, to get a game going so they can give themselves some hope for the series.
It's definitely possible. Fusion have played a good series so far. It's just unfortunate for them that it feels like their defense at those awkward moments is not only vulnerable, but it's being taken advantage of in those moments. As Minions recognize a little bit of uncomfortability, we're more than happy to send a couple of players upfield rather than maybe playing the more reserved midfield that we've seen out of them. It's a great idea from Minions. It's not a bad idea from Fusion. If they can just hold their heads just a little bit longer and stay a little bit more confident in their defense, they've got a chance to keep this series extended, but they've also only got the 1 chance. If they lose this game, this series is over. We have got our 2 finalists. Minions would like to get there. That's why Ian, flip reset in the back, sends it center. TYBER's there. Awkward in front of net, but Fish to clear the lines, give his team some time.
Good defense from Fusion. Counterattack brewing too. It's Reach with a 50 to the corner. Fish direct shot on net. Now is going for the corner. Great block out of Glowing. And Minions are still trying to get organized, and it's not a decent enough clear. So Fish will collect and give it to HIROKI.
Corner, HIROKI, another chance to maybe get a pass out, but can't quite. Double commit from Minions, though, means they have to be careful in this transition. They won't even go for it. Instead, they'll boost up and get prepared for another defense. 50 in front of net. HIROKI, another one afterwards. Glowing gets faked out, but they don't win the 50! Reach tries to catch Glowing off guard, and Glowing says, nah. I've been hitting the gym. I'm a muscle through this.
Oh my god, yeah, it's just Reach drove too far ahead and kind of realized his mistake in that 1v1. The last hope to keep that ball out, he just stops driving. That's when you know you're like, all right, GG. But 2-1 for Minions, it is anything but GG as TYBER adds to the tally.
All right, you know what? I get it. You guys are just the kings of the backboard at this point. Double touches are automatic, especially with the waterfall down. That's an impressive read, and unfortunately, it's an impressive way to turn this series around from a 1-1 that's held for a while to 3-1 in a very quick fashion. Minions looking well on their way to find a spot in that final.
Minions, XPERE, they've definitely given up some good goals, but maybe even a lead to an opponent, but this could be 2 semifinalists with clean sweeps before going into that final. That says a lot. And this is just mean now. Minions up 4-1 after a bunch of demos just split open this defense.
Unfortunately, it's that awkwardness we talked about. Again, Fusion are so good when they're able to keep their heads on straight and keep calm, but as soon as the pressure comes in, they start to make some unfortunate rotations in defense that leave them vulnerable, get them a bit exposed, and I don't blame them for feeling the pressure right now. You're down 4-1 with the series on the line. If there was ever a time for pressure to truly be on a team, it would be at this moment.
Yeah, I might have even seen like a double commit from Fusion just on the offensive half, not being able to rotate back. It's really unfortunate. And you have minions pressing towards the backboard. Good defense out of Fish, feeds it to Reach, but unfortunately right to the opponent. This Fusion at least will try to punch back in any way they can. They're set up in the orange half, and these 50s are being stalled out and eventually won by minions.
Ian. Okay, my guy. We talked about hitting the gym. It doesn't get much better than this. Pinch 50 goal. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, minions starting to style on them a little bit and bringing out a lot of different looks. Whether it's, you know, the demos into goals, the solo plays, the passes. Minions have showed us how dangerous their offense can be, but can it hang against XPERE, the, I guess, partial snowman, maybe SSG, pro high school roster? Like, I think minions look good here, but will it be, are they really being tested? Is this even the peak of minions? TYBER leading us closer to a Brazil.
TYBER, he's maybe not going to find Brazil quite yet, but he will at least find a hat trick already. That's his third goal of the game, and I believe Glowing, that's their first assist, meaning the entire team has at least 1 goal and 1 assist. Minions are not only flowing, the entire team is, and they are all connecting beautifully. Unfortunately for Fusion, as much as I do want to keep the narrative that they can turn this around alive, 5 goals in 30 seconds, I think you got better odds at the lottery, unfortunately. So this one not going to go in their favor, but I do want to give credit to Fusion. This was a phenomenal series from them. They played well. This final game, I think, did unfortunately expose the defense that was a bit nervous, but you're going into the final game of the series. It's not surprising to see that happen. They still fought valiantly, but Minions, they fought better. They are your winners here in our other semifinal. Their reward, a date with XPERE in the Grands.
For a chance at those 3 Lenovo Legion PCs. And I'm sure the upgrade is going to help them a lot. You got to give a shout out to Bob Jones High School, the best high school for Rocket League in Alabama, showing up with all the state championship titles under their belt, but not able to reach that big title of our Upgrade Arena champion. But that means we have 2 amazing teams to look forward to in our final, like you said, Minions versus XPERE, and these are 2 of the most mechanical teams we've had.
I would agree with that one. As we look back upon the replays, I think people are going to notice that as well. Just watch the mechanics on display for, honestly, both teams, but in particular, these pinches. Another great example, as the first goal was literally pinch out of the corner into a pass. Minions were taking advantage of these quick counterattacks and doing so in style. Granted, Fusion didn't look all too bad either, but really, it's the constant pressure from Minions that I think is going to be the highlight we take away from this series.
Yeah, Minions, really good chemistry, but the ability to solo play opens up a lot of options for Minions, and sometimes you don't always have a second person with you, and if Minions have, I think at least Ian and Glowing and even TYBER all have solo play potential, so this can create some interesting scenarios when you're going up against XPERE, and sometimes their defense gets stretched really thin, and they'll only have 1 in the net. Minions gotta have all the elements to try and score against them. Because like a team as talented as XPERE isn't gonna afford you too many opportunities to do so.
That is still my goal of the day, by the way. Musty flick into a last-second redirect to just kind of float it into net. It doesn't get much better. I say that, and then TYBER hits this waterfall shot afterwards, and really, this is kind of how Minions played the whole time. You thought the goals couldn't get any better, and they seem to always, and that is why they are our second team finding themselves in our grand finals. Minions versus XPERE Lemon to determine it all. One team walking away with brand new PCs, the other one walking away with brand new monitors at minimum. So, you know, honestly, either one of these teams, that's a pretty good reward in the finals. I would take either of the above.
Exciting stuff and huge statements to make in this bracket, coming into the finals with 4-0 sweeps and pretty dominant ones at that. Although XPERE did have to go to 2 overtimes, so we'll see how much they'll be pushed to their limits. And a big shout out to PlayVS and NASIP for giving the opportunity for these high school players to just have another platform to compete in until they're ready for collegiate, until they're ready for CRL. But are you ready for the grand finals of our Upgrade Arena? You better be, because that's coming up next.
I was really drawn to PlayVS because it's sort of this unknown space at the time. It's an emerging field, and so it's a really exciting opportunity to kind of follow this space and really be leaders in it. We're designing a product and service that in many cases doesn't already exist.
The big thing at PlayVS that really stands out to me when working here is just the attitude of all the people. There's a lot of people here that love video games, and not only that, they love helping the students and the coaches really maximize that potential.
It's not often in life where you get a chance to have a group of people that are passionate about the same things, and we really all want to make an impact, and that's my ultimate reason for everything.
It's truly a place where everyone is incredibly supportive of one another. And I think the biggest thing is there's just like a lack of pretension. And I think it's kind of a testament to the type of judgment-free culture that we've been able to cultivate.
What's kept me around with PlayVS is I think the people are awesome, and another thing is I really just love the outcome.
Having this opportunity to impact students' life and create something that I wish was there for me was the main motivation.
I think it's my team. That's been something that I've really been able to get to know them and love and enjoy getting to work with them on a regular basis. But then also on top of that, I think it's just being able to see like what impact it's having on these students and these kids.
So being able to work with people that really just want to not just get the job done, but really work towards benefiting competitive gaming is really a cool opportunity.
It's time for the grand final of the Upgrade Arena, brought to you by Lenovo. I'm excited. We got XPERE and we got Minions and we got some amazing prizes. We got to talk to you about Lenovo and all the products and all the equipment these players are getting fast. I mean, keyboards, monitors, but PC, the big PC tower is what we're all excited for.
There is so much on the line. Just for even making it into this tournament, you're guaranteed mice. Just for making it into today's broadcast, you're guaranteed a keyboard. But like you said, monitors just for making the grand finals. And our ultimate prize here are those PCs. Once again, we do have to thank Lenovo for all of this, because every victory is born of defeat. Moments that test your resolve but push you on relentlessly, always moving forward, because the game only ends if you let it. That's the power of Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible. Visit Lenovo.com today to find great deals on the latest Legion products, including everything you see on your screen right now. Massive shout out once again to Lenovo Legion for allowing, or for helping, this tournament come to be, and for helping us create this top 8 bracket and our finalists that we've got in store today. It is Minions versus XPERE, and I will say, Lemon, coming into this one, I do think this was the expected finalists. Question is, do we get the expected winners of this entire tournament?
I don't think it's gonna be a sweep. Both these opponents have swept their semi-finalists, but this is gonna be the most competitive series. And of course, we wanted to shout out Lenovo Play versus NASIF for supporting and creating a high school platform where this is the start of their journey. You guys are seeing like the day one. This is the foundation. And like Rocket League comes up with all these cracked players that you only see them on the ladder, but it's tournaments like this where we can really see them shine in a competitive threes environment.
Yeah, it has been awesome to see high school players playing at this level. Again, not just a massive shout out to the people that are involved in the broadcast, like Play Versus, like NASIF, like Lenovo, but as well as also a massive shout out to Psyonix as well for supporting the amateur and high school scenes here. It is such a thriving place, and again, with, like we said, the collegiate scene back in full force, these kids are prepping themselves to go into the collegiate scene, go into the professional scene in the future. And well, for a couple of these players here, they are already in the professional scene. We've got our head-to-head with our finalists here. On the left, it is Minions, the team you just witnessed, and on the right, it is XPERE, otherwise known, we've got a couple names, soon to be SSG, Snowman 2.0, enough nicknames to fill an entire bucket full of them, but one thing you might have to call them is champions if they can repeat the performance they showed us in the semis.
Yeah, XPERE came out swinging, and something about Frosty just subbed in too for a different third that was supposed to be here today, and Frosty got up just in time for the tournament, and now that he's firing on all cylinders, this is the team to fear when it comes to XPERE. But Minions showed us also a good display of mechanics and teamwork, and we were kind of looking them up fast because we want to know more about these players because they were just so talented and they are just ladder grinders.
Dude, I know about Ian. Again, one of the most prolific hoops players in the history of Rocket League. This man has taken more hoops tournaments home than maybe any other player in history. But his teammates were ones that I was like, all right, I recognize the names. How much should I recognize them? And after that series, I went, okay, I should learn a bit more. Fun fact for, I believe it was TYBER. TYBER does not care about ones or threes, apparently, except for in this tournament, as he has a total of 150 games played in the last season between them. He has 1,200 twos games. This man is well into 2,000 MMR. This is a man who has been grinding the twos ladder, and same for Glowing, another twos grinder as well. This team is somebody I'm going to have to pay attention to, and really, it's the point of tournaments like this. High school players across this country are hidden gems everywhere, literally across the United States and across North America. There are these hidden gems of players that are the future of Rocket League, and we're seeing some of them here today. Massive shout out to TYBER and Not Glowing, maybe the least familiar names in this lobby, but I'll be walking away remembering the both of them.
And this is how you cement your name in the high school scene and maybe even in the pro scene. I mean, we shout out to Nikki Justine and Garrett G, who are our co-streamers, showing sort of the Rocket League community what could be the next generation of stars. And I'm excited to showcase them. We're going to be jumping into our grand final soon. It is the same best of 7 format. And how competitive will this be? XPERE were pushed to a couple of overtimes in their semi-final, but I think both these teams are really warmed up now.
I would agree with that one, especially. I think the big thing to note, in my opinion, is that as much as we saw the, I'd say, mechanics on display more for the minion side, XPERE, I don't think have shown us the upper limits of their mechanics quite yet. They went for a couple of them. Some of the pre-jump plays that they did have were hyper-mechanical and extremely impressive, but I think that Minions are still a team that is going to be able to match them. But how much, again, is the big question here. It's very difficult. Minions have played so well throughout this tournament, have looked so good on the day. When you're playing a team that has experience not only at a high school level, but at a professional level, every once in a while, that extra professional experience just kind of gives them the edge. They understand how to not buckle under the pressure of events like this, and I have to wonder how Minions are going to be able to do when the spotlight is on them.
And this is a different type of spotlight. We talked about the Minions experience in hoops and twos on the ladder, but maybe not as much competitive experience. And this is maybe their first showcase, maybe getting your feet in the water of, well, is this going to be something we could see TYBER, Ian, and Glowing want to pursue more? I mean, I'm sure they're close to CRL age, quote unquote, where that could be their next endeavor. And if they're able to impress their opponents, really push XPERE to the limit, I mean, just being able to be competitive against other players on good teams is how you also get recruited and scouted for those teams. So we're just waiting on some people getting back from the bathroom break, making sure that they're ready for the grand final, because it's going to be a long one.
I gotta hope it's gonna be a long one. We've had 2 4-0s on the day. I'm not gonna guarantee this won't be a 4-0, because again, you never really know what's going to happen when teams lock in, but I'm hoping this is gonna be a bit more of a back and forth. I really do believe that Minions have the capability to stretch XPERE and really push them to their limits, but again, easier said than done with a team like this that not only has experience at a professional level, but really has experience in tough moments like this. I believe this XPERE team, Frosty and Reveal, I think got second place in the most recent 2v2 Open that Psyonix hosted. So it's a team that has made grand finals and played in spaces like this before. Good luck to the Minions. If they can keep their heads on straight, if they can keep themselves focused, I think this will be a very competitive series. But this first game, I think, is going to be extremely telling.
Well, let's get into the grand final of our Play versus Upgrade Arena presented by Lenovo. A lot of good Lenovo products as our prizes, but also a way to make a name for yourself as XPERE off to an aggressive offense early before TYBER brings it back down to earth.
Minions trying to get something started early here. They do have some offense to work with, but I think the almost immediate thing I'm noticing, this almost feels slower than the last couple of games. I think these teams recognize the opponents that they're up against and don't want to overexert. We talked about this for both squads, the counterattacks being one of the only problems either defense had to struggle against in either series. I think they're going to try to do everything in their power to avoid those counterattacks. They know the speed at which these teams can transition. Great example there, but this one not going to convert.
Yeah, this is already a way quicker pace than both teams displayed in their semi-final. Much closer of a matchup in terms of skill. XPERE will await. Frosty has used all his boost, but isn't getting enough air on it, so now gets contested in the midfield where Reveal helps him carve his way through as KOFYR now challenging the defense and testing the waters as the shot goes up high and Frosty lands it.
XPERE, the first team to start off the scoring here, and unfortunately for Minions, this was just almost too awkward a moment to escape from. No boost on Glowing in front of net. The best they can do is try and keep it in front of their goal and maybe try to keep it in front of their car to get a 50-50. It doesn't work out, and all of a sudden, we've got ourselves the first goal of the series. XPERE on top early.
Minions. Okay, Ian just trying to fake challenge against KOFYR, and Minions still get to the orange half, and Ian! Oh, that was a dangerous ball. I can't believe XPERE saved that. And XPERE now desperately going for demos to relieve this offense from their half, and Minions bring it right back almost until Reveal could steal this corner boost and get XPERE even further into a lead.
I'm surprised we're still at a lead for XPERE here. Minions felt like they had a chance to tie this one up, but excellent defense from Frosty and maybe even some excellent offense as well, and needed an extra little push. KOFYR to dunk it on the line.
XPERE is such a team comfortable in the air with their reset to the side and just utilizing the 50 to just push it into the net. Minions thought all they had to do is put a ball to the side and wasn't expecting the whole army to march into their net. So XPERE, very physical, mechanical team, and Minions trying to fight the fire with fire.
trying their best. Unfortunately for them, they've yet to find a goal through 2 minutes of play, but they definitely have had the chances on offense here or there, but they're definitely limited in comparison to what XPERE is putting out right now. The constant pressure from this team as they put them through a vice grip that is ever squeezing just does not seem to reprieve at any moment. Maybe it'll give them some here, but Glowing on low boost isn't going to be able to do all too much with this one. A long ball downfield goes right into the hands of Reveal, who maybe wasn't intending for those extra touches. Can Minions take advantage off the backboard? Uncontested is Frosty, and unfortunately for Minions right now, they've got to take advantage of these awkward moments. They're not finding many of them, except for themselves on defense. That's a third goal to XPERE.
Minions just can't slow down XPERE at all. I'm not seeing Minions feel comfortable in the air the same way XPERE are. Like, Frosty's able to air dribble from one side of the world to the other, and then XPERE just have to set up from there, and Minions are going to have less and less time to react and make decisions if they let XPERE get that far. Now 3-0. Very dominant start out of XPERE now that they're firing on all cylinders. And Minions are just barely keeping up, and this just bounces in.
I mean, look, you can call it an own goal. I'm going to call this an intricate passing play and a heck of a shot. My goodness. Drop down to Frosty. Fires it at the top left, and maybe it could have ricocheted out, but we also know one thing for certain. XPERE are going to crash the net as soon as they see a shot like that, so even if the defender didn't put it into their own net, somebody was going to be there to secure the goal and maybe even secure the win. 4-0 here in Game 1. We said this first game was going to be telling whether or not we got a competitive series. I think XPERE would like to say it's not going to be.
I'm seeing Minions not even want to slow the play down, but rather just play at the same pace, but find the gaps. And, well, the gap was almost on Minions, in the Minions net, but they're able to recollect. Ian, though, has no boost, so TYBER has to fall back. He'll have a double touch, but that's to Reveal. That was meant to go to Glowing.
I can't help but feel bad for TYBER on this play. I think he's trying to go for the Psycho, or at least an attempt at something similar to a redirect to get it off the backboard. He does not even make contact and Reveal. Well, he might have called game with that one. 100 seconds to go. Another goal for the team, a 5-goal lead. I don't know what's more impressive, the amount of goals they have scored here in the first game, or the fact that they haven't even conceded a single.
And I think at this age, when you're just this good at Rocket League, like, you don't just think you're gonna win, you know you're gonna win. And then situations like this are gonna humble you when you're down 0-5 in Game 1. But these are the type of players that'll just simply believe that they'll win Game 2 and they'll forget all about this. So you'll probably see a slower Minions or one that isn't as eager to attack the ball for the next minute because they're just thinking about Game 2.
At this point, I think XPERE is just thinking about trying to run the clock down, and I do have to agree with you. Memory of a goldfish is going to be so beneficial here to Minions. They kind of got to just shrug this one off and go, yeah, we gave up some goals that we probably shouldn't have. The defense did have some moments that were far too awkward and left those gaps that you talked about that were exploited by this XPERE team. But it doesn't mean the series is over, not by a long shot. All they need to do is try and change their gameplay up a little bit, catch this XPERE team off guard, and this can definitely turn into a competitive series. They'll at least get a goal for the road. It won't be a shutout. Minions get one with 30 to go.
Yeah, that's nice. XPERE have shown gaps of where their third man is positioned, and there's been some open nets that they've given up. This is not something I'm super worried about because XPERE got rid of that towards the latter half of their semifinal, but it's just something to know if you're XPERE. Was this just well, let's just send all three on offense and try to get a Brazil, or is this Minions seeing what they can accomplish? And we're getting closer to that Brazil.
I mean, the closer we get to South America, the less hope I have for this Minions team of the turnaround, unfortunately. It does kind of feel like they are still in this one, but similar to many other teams we've seen play against both Minions and XPERE here today, when the mechanics are just on display in offense, the defense starts to get awkward and leave those vulnerable moments. I think we've said it enough times, it sounds like a broken record, but unfortunately the same thing rings true over and over, 6 times as a matter of fact, throughout this game. Game 1 going in favor of XPERE in definitive fashion. Minions, you definitely still have a chance in this series, but you have got to get it going quickly here in game number 2.
That's tough. I remember seeing TYBER. Okay, speaking of TYBER, he'll get the last second goal there. Not make it a Brazil, but TYBER's usually been that spark plug, and he's had like a slower game by his fault. It's just been tough for him to find himself involved with the play and to get things set up, because a lot of the minions action was started by TYBER, in my opinion, and then you can really rely on the mechanics from Ian and Glowing to get the job done, but there hasn't really been good footing for minions. If anything, it's XPERE just biting them at the heel all the time.
Honestly, that's by far the best way to describe it here. It does feel like minions are just sort of slowly getting back into this, but for every 1 to 2% they advance, minions climb 5. And it doesn't really work if you're always playing catch-up. You have to be at the advantage or at least an equal footing, and I don't know if we've gotten there quite yet in this series. It still kind of feels like this minions team is playing catch-up, trying to find ways to slow down the offense of XPERE, while also finding offense of their own that doesn't overexert themselves. Again, transition plays have been a problem for a multitude of here today, and for minions, I don't think it's going to be any different here in this series either. If they have to send all 3 of their players in offense, that means their defense is going to be exposed. A quick counterattack will be an option. XPERE, are they going to find those wins through counterattacks, or will they do the same as they did last time? Just dominate on offense and dominate the series.
Ooh, good chance for Glowing. Had to place the ball low, but that's exactly where XPERE's defender was. So minions trying to work together. And the big issue was being able to slow down XPERE once they go for aerials, and maybe that's on area minions feel safe enough to challenge, and when push came to shove, minions weren't able to shove back. Now it's XPERE with a starting lead.
XPERE going to take the lead yet again, and KOFYR the one to do so. Great touch off the backboard. Quite literally beats the entire team. Not even 30 seconds in, we have yet another lead for XPERE. Minions have got to find a way to slow this team down on offense. If they keep conceding goals at this rate, I don't know what they're going to be able to do to turn the series around. Do not. Oh my gosh, I saw the pre-jump.
Minions are doing a lot of wait and see, playing a very reactive style of letting XPERE jump on the ball first, see if they look awkward or have a bad touch, and maybe try to punish. But now you got XPERE hitting doubles and passes midair. I don't even know, but no one is home for minions.
I talked about in the first series that you know, KOFYR was a little bit quiet in terms of the scoring. He didn't really, you know, get himself involved in the scoring unless he had to. And then I think after that, he scored like 5 goals. In this series, I don't think he was all too involved in offense in game 1. He did have a goal and 2 assists, but he probably went, nah. My turn to score some goals. And oh my goodness, is he going for all of them. This guy is looking for a hat trick within the first minute. And honestly, had that shot just been a little bit closer to target, I think he would have found it.
Uh-oh, TYBER has a lot to handle here, addresses it, keeps his eyes focused on the ball. But minions not climbing up. A last-second touch from TYBER. So I like to see the confidence grow from this defense of minions as XPERE. They're just going for passes. They're overwhelming the net, and now the demo's come into play.
Ian trying to finally get some offense started here for minions, but for how long can they hold on to it? The answer, not even long enough for me to be able to get my sentence out, unfortunately. Here comes the counterattack. Here comes another goal. We are only about 100 seconds in, and XPERE already have a 3-0 lead.
This is starting to look pretty bad. Like, minions look so good. They had so much fire right off the kickoff, having an early offense and forcing saves, forcing quick decisions out of XPERE. But it's minions off of kickoff that have no momentum, no energy, and challenges that either that don't make contact or challenges that aren't even there because XPERE just keep taking the ball high, and it could be a difference of boost too.
I do think the boost starvation has been very intentional here. It's part of the reason you're seeing these full field rotations out of XPERE, who consistently go back to their own half, grab as many pads as they can, and just kind of keep minions in this just very difficult position to escape from. It's intentional the way that XPERE are playing. Again, they know that they come into this the favorites. They are playing like the favorites and playing to their advantages with constant speed in their favor, the mechanics mid-air. Overall, this is a game where XPERE are in full control, and it's up to minions to break that control and change this series around. They're finally starting to generate some offense, but unfortunately for them, still without a goal here in our second game.
XPERE have control of their own boost. They're able to demo any offensive players from minions, so minions have so many goals in mind, or objectives I should say, and to get boost, to find passes, to avoid getting demoed. Like, this is the most challenging match that Minions have played in a while. Now Ian has no boost to even get a follow-up touch from this.
KOFYR trying to get something started for his team yet again. It's not as if they need more offensive generation, but they'll still hunt for it. 2 minutes left in this game. Ian, a long ball downfield, was hoping to relieve the pressure for his team, but with no boost on anybody, I don't know if they're even going to generate this into an offense. Pinch on out. Double demo. Should get possession of Minions. And they hold on to it yet again. Not exactly. Pass towards their own net. Awkwardness again on defense. And part of me blames Minions for that. The other part of me remembers this is what XPERE have been doing to every team they face. Get them awkward, find an opening, and find goals. And Minions can't do the same. Another chance, nothing there. Shot on target, and finally in.
Finally, after the missed double attempt from Ian, TYBER, he's been the setup guy. What a great pass to Glowing, who places it low after seeing the two defenders from the crossbar try to intercept. What is that car? Anyway, 3-1 for XPERE. But hey, Minions got one.
They get one. Maybe it's the power of the Batmobile. Speaking of which, they'll finally show it there. Shout out to Glowing. It feels like 2018 or 17 with KOFYR all over again. Unfortunately, it's not here in 2024, as maybe much of the buff as a Batmobile might be. You need a little bit more than just that. You need 2 more goals, and you need them basically now. A minute to go, and this might even be a 4th goal, except for the open net. XPERE did it again. They overexerted, and the immediate counterattack has brought this game back within 1.
And you saw at the start of that replay, 2 XPERE players being caught mid-air flying into the back wall. And it takes time to land. It takes time to readjust, to rotate back. And Minions punish XPERE on an open net. They've been able to clean that up before. And this is a tough spot for XPERE to give that up. Now Minions are within reach. They're within 1. And XPERE only have a 1-game series lead. This is not domination yet.
Not quite yet. It was for a moment, and all of a sudden, we saw the comeback from Minions, and it will be complete. XPERE bite off more than they can chew, and all of a sudden, another counterattack catches them.
Oh, great jump out of TYBER, knowing that 50 was going to come low, and then TYBER just played the dunk, and it worked out. This team, Minions, these short passes have been huge for them. Now 30 seconds, Frosty with the carry, connects with Reveal, got a lot of momentum as XPERE wanted to chase as TYBER breaks through and almost gets to Glowing.
Chance in the corner here. Ian, though, no boost, doesn't have any challenge, so Glowing will have to go midair. They call the bluff, they call the shot, but not enough power on it. Reveal, though, needs to be careful here. Same with Frosty. The demo leads to an extra touch he wasn't intending. Is anybody going to get a touch at the end of this game? Potentially KOFYR, looking for the bump, looking for the pass. Shot is there, and in! And XPERE deny the comeback. Reveal calls game, and 4-3, they're up 2-0 in the series.
My God, that pass from KOFYR, what a fake. He had 2 defenders jumping, and KOFYR touches it to the side when everyone thought KOFYR was going for the solo. He was going for the solo play, the direct shot. Minions built a wall, but it was actually a pass. XPERE, man, I thought for sure this was going into overtime because usually a lot of teams, they play better when they're at a deficit, but XPERE are almost a team that play worse when they're ahead. And at least XPERE were able to get back the lead at the 0-second mark, but that got a lot closer than they expected.
Honestly, I don't know if I can call it overconfidence. I don't know if I can call this just straight up. I don't know what it is, but it's a team that basically they see themselves get even a 1-goal lead and they go, all right, cool. We got this one in the bag. It's time to start going for crazy goals. And then they'll score a couple of those crazy goals and you'd think at that point, it'd be, all right, settle down until the game ends. Now they keep going for those. And if they are forced to, they will lock back in and they will get plays like that. I think that's the second or third 0-second goal we have now seen from XPERE here today. Clutch factor, undeniable. Minions, you might need to steal a little bit of that from XPERE. You guys have looked good. You've kept this series close. You need to make sure you take a game here, though. We've talked about it before. Reverse sweeps in a best-of-7, extremely difficult. If they lose this one, it will be required from this Minion side.
2-0 series, XPERE also dominating in the demo department. Every time Minions even think about an offense, they always have to have only 2 people up at all times, it feels like, and it makes for, well, less options for passing and just a weaker offense overall. And I'd love to see Minions try to fight fire with fire, be physical back, but Minions are also trying to fight for just their boost. Right now, XPERE are crossing to different parts of the field to see if XPERE can force a ball to, well, if friendly. It's been tough. Minions are good at occupying their half, but now that they're demoed, this is tough.
It's very difficult. It feels like Minions consistently get close to this one, but similar to what we talked about in game number 1, for every couple percentage that they climb, XPERE seem to climb even higher and maybe even get the first goal. Frosty, clean beat out of midfield, recognizes Glowing with no boost and just pops it over his head.
The double demo and Glowing, the last man back, stuck in the midfield with no boost to escape and tried to get a hand up, but the slow down XPERE means to punch them back. And Minions have tried to just match pace and find gaps in the field that they can rotate through, but XPERE have them on lockdown.
Yeah, they truly do. It just kind of feels like for every moment that XPERE do show vulnerability, somebody is there to clean it up. Again, the individual abilities of every player on XPERE on display at multiple moments. This more team play. This won't be anything individually as much as it will also be Minions again. Feeling the awkwardness on defense, the pressure, double commit and net leaves nobody home.
Maybe even a team bump from Minions. I like the auto chat there is Minions. It's tough when you get this much pressure. Mistakes are going to happen and they're going to be exposed tenfold. TYBER's demoed. Again, XPERE can just keep sending KOFYR to demo everybody and XPERE can just keep playing hot potato. Now a chance for Glowing. Low on boost. The jumps bump his way through and connect with Ian, and that's saved.
TYBER, though, on the rebound, not a lot of boost, but can at least keep it in the offensive half and maybe give his team some extended time on offense. Be on the corner and will indeed stay in this half, but he steals all the boost and gets an air dribble, plus the reset, plus the pass. No, not going to connect. Frosty, if he gets that last touch, it's probably going past the defender, but they don't exactly need more goals. 2 minutes gone here, and XPERE holding on to their 2-goal lead.
Oh, good 50 out of reveal. KOFYR back pass to Frosty with a full tank. And did they just team bump Frosty? Like, I thought he had a good launch, but now, well, Frosty has to go back for boost. KOFYR misses that. TYBER with a follow-up touch. Now in a 1v1 in the net. Comes out to Glowing, who almost dunks.
Remember how in game 1 we said that the pace of play was a little bit, exciting because it started to like turn down a little bit. The team started to get this more methodical chess battle back and forth as they kind of judged each challenge. I think XPERE decided they were done with that. No longer, it's not chess. It's actually checkers instead. Just constantly challenging, constantly launching forward over and over again. And normally I would say this is a risky strategy, but it's not being punished. Minions are not recognizing those moments of the triple commits, double commits, and overexertion of offense and just booming balls downfield to catch them off guard and force them into retreat. Instead, they're still trying to develop plays out of their own half, and unfortunately, against a team like XPERE, you just can't afford to do that. Drop down from the ceiling will not result in a goal, but again, through over 3 minutes of play now, still not a goal on the board for the Minions.
And KOFYR is just going for double-digit demos. Every time there's a demo, it's probably from KOFYR, and he's doing it when he's on offense. He's doing it when he's on defense. And TYBER almost setting up Glowing to the backboard. Ian tries to draw out the defenders to TYBER again. A low ball saved by Reveal.
Reveal, flick up high, Glowing out at midfield, not allowing another offense here for this XPERE side, but they need some offense of their own. Reveal, good touch out at mid. Will it find a teammate? Absolutely. KOFYR out to Frosty. Frosty looking for the dung. But at this point, they don't need more goals. They just need to lock them into their half. And also maybe not triple commit on the line. Surely this is a goal, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, yes it is. Ian to secure it.
What is this setup from XPERE? I swear they're their own worst enemies. First, they're like running into Frosty before he tries to like air dribble across, and now running into each other, passing it to Minions who are ready in the box to capitalize. So Minions keep themselves within one, and XPERE may be playing with their food. Frosty wanting to connect on the pass to KOFYR, as Reveal is going to have to make up for this, and another team bump on XPERE.
Are they gonna let it go to another 0-second goal required? Because it's starting to feel that way. Minions are generating more offense, and all they need is one goal, and they can at least find themselves in overtime, or theoretically, considering the multiple 0-second goals we've seen. XPERE actually don't even look keen on giving them a chance at offense right now. Constant challenges out at midfield and in the air are just locking them into their half, but bump on Frosty. He'll get one more touch, but so will Ian. Set up center, not going to be found. And KOFYR, the long ball downfield, will force a retreat again. Minions, if they want to do it, I was going to say they're going to have to do it from 2 behind. Maybe not. One more chance, but a 50 out at mid will probably end this. Wait, is that open?
Oh, that's just
again?
Open. Again. I can't believe this. XPERE they're playing both sides. And I'm not talking about the field. XPERE are just like switching teams. They're blocking their own shots. And they're playing defense on the wrong side of the field. Like, minions have an open net and they just tied it up.
Well, can they at least see an overtime this time? Last time we said it was almost a guarantee. XPERE scored on 0 seconds and just avoided it altogether. They maybe be minions this time, but they do have some offense brewing. TYBER, good challenge, forces a double out of the XPERE side, but no boost in the tank. Minions will at least see an overtime. Will the result change? Will they finally find their first game of the series?
Oh, Frosty, full tank, tries to lob it over Ian. Now Glowing wants to get the truck rolling. Transitioning is difficult. Now we're in overtime, and XPERE haven't dropped an overtime yet. And it's Reveal setting up Frosty. Minions barely being able to control their boost. My God.
Oh, KOFYR still trying to keep something going here. Goodness, this has been something with the constant attacks already through 40 seconds in overtime. Feels like XPERE just need one good chance with an undefended net, and this one's guaranteed ending. Not going to be there. Glowing, great touch and the follow-up as well. Is anybody prepared for the clear out? Kind of with TYBER, but he's going to get challenged by Frosty, or they're going to give him the space. Will that be a mistake as this one floats to the backboard? Not quite yet. Passing plays on either end, reaching across this field, but through a minute in overtime, it still has been XPERE with the most amount of offense. But getting pressed in the defense, can they survive?
Good touches from KOFYR to keep it to the side and out, and now to Reveal. The counterattack rings true for XPERE, and they take game 3.
This was so quick, you blink and you might miss it, but all 3 players charged downfield. Honestly, I think KOFYR was just there as a distraction, because Reveal and Frosty, the Snowman duo, show up again, and this time it sends them to series point. One more, and XPERE will take your championship and will win the Upgrade Arena.
Was not expecting XPERE to be this head and shoulders above minions, because the games seem close, but it does come off like a bit of trolling from XPERE, just uncharacteristic team bumps and sort of almost trying to nerf Frosty on their own end to blocking their own shots when XPERE are trying to score. You go, otherwise it would have went in, and I think if XPERE were to peak, I don't think minions would be able to score at all. But this is, an opening for minions to take advantage of an XPERE that is underestimating them, and I guess underestimating their defense, because minions have found a couple open nets.
They found a couple open nets, but again, you just gotta wonder if, as they have every time, once they lock in, are they stoppable? Because that's 2 times in a row that they have had to clutch up, both in the 0-second goal and now in overtime. So, can they find a way to stop an XPERE who have shown a clutch factor that is almost untouchable? We'll have to find out now. Game number 4 here in our best of 7, and if this starts off the same way as the last couple, I'm not so sure if they're going to see any more games here in this series.
Minions, they always play really fast off the kickoff, and they try to really surprise XPERE, and that's a surprising redirect there. XPERE with a lead as usual.
I almost feel as if this shot was off target, but I can't really blame Ian for going for it regardless. Bounce on out maybe, but you see Reveal was lurking around. If he doesn't go for the touch, at least attempt it. That's a dunk on the line either way. One thing is staying the same every single game. XPERE start the scoring off quickly.
I just can't even believe that happened. I said minions are trying to surprise. Well, how about that pass? XPERE want to close this out in a sweep. And if they've had a lead, they've usually been able to keep it. But Minions, as soon as XPERE slow down, they'll find those open nets and they'll tie it up with less than 30 seconds, but Minions can force an OT. That would be ideal.
Well, if they can keep this off their half, that would also be ideal. Constant challenges once again from this XPERE side. Again, just the I don't even want to call it ego, because that's normally what you call it would be an ego challenge, but it's not even ego when they know that they're going to beat them almost every time. Very rarely have we seen 50s mid-air as much as we've just seen challenges that either turn into a dunk on one side or a clean beat on the other. A minute gone here, and it still feels like XPERE are in control, but this is only a 1-goal lead. This is absolutely a doable comeback for Minions.
Minions, as the ball was cutting across, they couldn't get a good touch. Minions will now give up some space and see if they can slow down Frosty, who has to musty it to KOFYR off the corner, but Minions good at reading sort of the destination of the play from XPERE and hoping to spin it back out, and Ian cleans it up.
There we go. This is the player we told you to watch from this Minions team all day, and really it's honestly the assist from Glowing that does all the heavy lifting. Musty Flicker doesn't get a lot of power, but it allows him to keep it in front of him, go for the bump, clear the lane, and Ian will gladly finish that off. 1-1 here, and finally Minions showing they've got some resistance against XPERE, but for how long can they hold on?
Yeah, that Minions reactive style really helped them out, but now they're trying to take initiative. Direct shot from TYBER, and he almost creeps through that defender. As Ian has to back pass this, make sure he collects, and everywhere he brings the ball, there's an XPERE member waiting to challenge.
It's just constant pressure over and over again. These individual challenges are just not allowing space to develop plays, and it's extremely intentional, and it's as they should be playing. When you know you're the more mechanical, the faster paced team, you have to take advantage of that, and XPERE are doing a great job of that exactly. Now, can they find another goal and maybe get the lead back? Let's see. Double off the backboard, denied by Ian. TYBER got to carry this out of the half. Decent amount of boost. Do they get the reset? Absolutely! And KOFYR, the save on the line, but not on the rebound.
Wow, is this the first lead for Minions all series? This is exciting. And KOFYR had initial good touch, but I like that Ian was positioned. He had the awareness. He predicted where the save and where the block was going. And Minions find the rebound. Going into the second half, though, it is only a 1-goal lead, and you could never be comfortable with just that against a team as fearsome as XPERE.
XPERE looking to get the lead back almost immediately here as they're right into offense. Frosty out at midfield. Good pinch up. Can he lead it off the ceiling? TYBER absolutely can. He's going to deny them of the offense, and he's also going to lead the charge into the other half. Ian, a beat over 2. At least Frosty by his lonesome. He's getting chased by Glowing. Glowing the redirect, and the lead increases.
And Minions are building up, and another maybe team bump from XPERE. Don't now they're arguing in the chat. They're like double committing and getting in each other's way. XPERE, everyone's so eager to be the big playmaker on the team, and Minions starting to find and get closer to their peak, and getting demoed off kickoff gives XPERE a chance to breathe.
Oh, here comes that clutch factor again. We've spoken about it a couple of times here today, but if there was ever a time to show it, it's right now. 100 seconds left on the clock. If XPERE want to prove that they truly are unbeatable, they need to complete yet another comeback, and they're trying for it here. Reveal off the ceiling. Are either of his teammates there? No, not quite. Frosty instead will take it from his own half and launch it into the opposite corner. We'll hope to get a pass out center. Won't exactly find it, but he'll find KOFYR on backup, and Reveal with a double shot on in, and the lead cut in half.
Reveal is just the GOAT on this team. He had a hat trick in his semifinal, and he delivers on a big solo play double right into the net and keeps XPERE within 1. The comeback after, what, a 3-1 start or something from Minions with XPERE. Kind of getting through some frustration points of uncharacteristic mistakes. But now XPERE needing to lock in to close out this final with yet a potential another sweep. It's heading that direction.
They're getting close, and honestly, I think the only thing that can deny them would be themselves, considering the only goals they've really conceded have been off mistakes or overexertion of their offense. Now that they're starting to find a way to rotate a bit more cleanly, keep that midfield locked down, and really show what their offensive capabilities truly are. You find a tie ball game with a minute to go. Minions, you had such a strong lead. Can you find a way to regain it and maybe at least force an overtime?
XPERE need to maybe forget about the demos and just focus on no more open nets. Have a solid third man you can depend on. Now it's XPERE just playing this from front to back and from the crossbar and back out. Minions get the save. Now they're trying to collect and see if they can counterattack. TYBER has good boost, but no passing options as he does what he can to solo play his way closer to the net, but Minions need to support each other.
They need some of these passes to connect. It has been solid to see them play through the corner and get these shots on target off of rebounds, but it doesn't seem like they're getting as many chances. They get one here, and I think TYBER called off his teammate. Ian was charging in to take the shot. He said, I got this. It's close to me. I just need to flick it. What he didn't expect was the double commit. Both players from XPERE diving at the ball, pop it high enough that it's not even going to turn into a shot, and it's not going to turn into an overtime either. I thought the first would go in, but as with every other goal, it's the follow-up that calls it.
Just TYBER being circled like that. There's vultures. And it just could just be the death of Minions in our upgrade arena. XPERE, few seconds away, locking in are your champions of our upgrade arena, presented by Lenovo. And in a sweep, a dominant one at that, sweeps in the semifinals too. XPERE, just pure cinema watching them.
XPERE, you didn't make it dominant. You definitely made it dramatic, though. Multiple 0-second goals, last-second goals, and honestly, I think you're the team that went to the most overtimes today of anybody that we saw. But you know what? You don't need to dominate. You don't need to stunt, because when you don't drop a single game, the results speak for themselves. An undeniable clutch factor we've talked about all day. An offense that was as electric as ever. If the rumors are to be true, congratulations, SSG. You guys might have found yourselves a heck of a team.
Yeah, and take a chance on some young guns, but man, they are strong and looking this strong too in the off season. Sometimes people take a break from Rocket League, but we talked about just how much of a grind everybody in this lobby has been on to be the best. You know, Minions may be better at hoops and twos or whatever they're into, but XPERE, they have just more pro-competitive experience, and it really showed today. And, well, at some points it didn't show. They were kind of trolling a little bit, running into each other, but it made it for an entertaining series, like you said.
I mean, it was an entertaining series, but it's also one that we've got to give credit to Minions. Some teams would see those opportunities, see them, leaving those gaps in defense and playing maybe a little bit more lackadaisically and go, all right, we can try for this, but nothing's going to happen. Instead, every time the team made a mistake, Minions punished. And maybe those mistakes weren't that frequent, but you can see it. In the moments where they were vulnerable, solo plays abundant. This Minions team really did fight back in a valiant way. So, as much as this was a 4-0 sweep in favor of XPERE, credit where it's due, Minions gave them a heck of a final.
Big congratulations to XPERE. I'm really looking forward to see what they look like once the season begins next year and what banner they're going to be representing. But I think Minions had their own showing. I mean, doing as well as they did in their semifinal to having fun against XPERE, finding the time and to be able to punish XPERE on these weaker moments. I think a lot of respect should be given to Minions, and I'm looking forward to watching how they develop once they reach collegiate and more eyes are on them.
Yeah, this is definitely a big takeaway. Look, if you're at college looking for players here, trust me, everybody you saw on stream here today is somebody you got to pay attention to. All of these players so unbelievably talented, but one shines above the rest. Congratulations to XPERE, your grand champions here for the Upgrade Arena, sponsored by Lenovo. They go clean through the entire tournament, not dropping a game, even in the quarterfinals.
And to beat down Minions, who did the same thing on their side of the bracket, that's so impressive out of XPERE. Mechanics full on display. And speaking of display, they're going to have some better displays to work with. Shout out to Lenovo, providing them with some awesome equipment. Everyone getting some mice, some keyboards, the Lenovo Legion monitor, but most importantly, the Lenovo Legion PC Tower. That is the grand prize, a huge upgrade for our XPERE players as they head into the RLCS season or Sierra, whatever their future holds.
Yeah, and once again, we have to shout out Lenovo for everything here today. Every victory is born of defeat, moments to test your resolve, but you push on relentlessly, always moving forward because the game only ends if you let it. The power of Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible. Visit Lenovo.com today to find great deals on the latest Legion products. Like we said, huge shout out to Lenovo Legion for everything here today, as well as shout outs to both PlayVS and NASEF as well. And also, as we mentioned before, shout outs to our co-streamers and Psyonix for their support of this event as well. Lemon, this has been an incredible competition. It was a competition that maybe was a bit more one-sided than we ever anticipated.
Yeah, and just one last shout out to PlayVS. What's coming up next for them in 5 days on October 24th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern is the next episode of PlayVS Download, where you get to learn more about what's going on in Scholastic Esports. If you're really impressed by the high school talent that showed up here today, you can learn all about them because PlayVS has been such an amazing platform to give these kind of the first step into what it's like to be a pro player, to even just start having a career in esports, or really just to have a fun paying hobby. So please go and give love to PlayVS and check out their episode of PlayVS Download, and of course NASEF for being here to support. But that is all we have for you today, folks. Big shout out to Bass and Monkey Bubble for our production. We'll see you next time.